Earth is very flat.
What's going on, everybody? It is Monday, May 17th, 2021. A beautiful day here in the Northern Hemisphere. This is Brandon, host of Brandon's Show. Hope everybody had a fantastic weekend. And I see quite a few people are in chat already. We got YouTube, Jaja Light, Ian Adams, Flat Earth Map, Gadget Inspector, Dan Morris, Page 42, Enigma, Bill G. And Enigma was first tonight. Congratulations, Enigma. Sound is good. Thank you, Bill. So what's going on? How are you guys doing out there? You guys have a good weekend or what? Let me know. What is Riley's thesis, Mark? Interesting name. We got a few people in Discord, so let's go in there and see what they're talking about. Sounds like but nothing yet. What's going on, guys?
Can you?
What up?
Hey, Brandon. What's up, bro?
What's up, SE? We got
Good.
Bev, I think. I expose
Yeah.
fakes. Thank me.
Yeah.
Nice. Matt Cleary, Rob on the level Keen, SE Montreal, and Boyd. And Buster.
Yo, what's up?
What's going on, guys?
We just saw many people over here, and we just dropped over.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, I was looking at that, and I was like, oh, where is everybody? I appreciate you guys stopping by.
Shit, we can't have that. We gotta go over and support Brandon.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much, guys. So what's going on? What's new in the level is horizontal world?
They put a video out. That was a good one. The uphill rivers. You heard that one?
I've heard about the uphill rivers. I haven't looked into it too much, but we've talked about that on here before too. Pretty weird.
Yeah, and well, also the LIGO as well.
Oh, what?
Like
Yeah, LIGO. Now that I have looked into pretty extensively.
Did you know that there is a canal at the side of the LIGO?
No, I did not know that, and I've even
Well,
looked
see,
at it
that
on
changes
Google
it a bit,
Earth.
doesn't it? Yeah, the Livingston one, the one that Rakia lives near.
Oh, I was looking at the one. I think there's one up in northern United States, like Arizona or Utah or some shit.
Yeah, there's two of them in the minute, planning on the third.
Yeah,
that was the main thing, was that when we did the Uphill Rivers video, in that Zanuck was talking about LIGO. I don't know which LIGO he was talking about, but he has river balls roll into the center and plumb bobs being vertical and all sorts.
Is my mic low?
no,
Oh, that sounds good.
better than it sounded
Sound like-
ever. I think, to be honest.
Sound like Rob.
Trying to do my Jeremy impression.
So for anybody who
Did you
doesn't
hear,
know,
Brandon?
the LIGO is supposedly a large-scale physics experiment where they shoot lasers down I think it's 4,000 meter tube, and it's used as evidence of curvature, even though it's a straight tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Not only a
second
straight
straightest
tube,
thing in the
Brandon.
universe.
It's the straightest thing in the universe, according to Zanuck.
Next to the canal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
canal next to it.
Oh man, what are you guys doing listening to Zanuck? That's a
By straight lines.
We're making fun of him.
okay,
Oh,
that
it
makes
was-
sense. Huh?
It was a
The
really
straightest
old
thing in the
school-
universe.
really
Jeez.
old school video that we did, like when we were, I don't know, maybe 2 years ago, when we come into this, me and Spot On, and we were just asking questions, fresh to it, or the people were fresh to the level horizontal argument, and it just exposes all of the problems that they have. The model dictates so many things that they are forced into saying that I mean, the argument was old in the old days, but now it's they've learnt all of the ways of getting around the argument by basically just not talking about geometry, because the geometry of level and what their model dictates is just doesn't work.
It's wacky.
Yeah, you've got to have a curved level surface, right? But Brandon, if you surveyed out a mile and you measure an 8-inch drop, would you call that an elevation change or Earth curvature?
I would have to call it an elevation change.
Bam. When would you
Yeah.
ever call it curvature? Ever.
Only
what I
if I were assuming that I lived on a giant floating space ball.
That's right.
Yeah. Otherwise, how would
Game
you know?
over. Yep. Exactly.
Huh.
It's
Yeah.
like asking,
Amazing.
can you go ahead, Cleary?
Yeah, it's just amazing how many different answers I get. I asked Larry Scott like that, and he's like, duh. I ask you, I asked Nathan Oakley, you guys are like elevation. It's amazing, the cog dish you get from that. So anyway, good job.
That Larry Scott guy has no clue what's going on. I smashed him in gems one day. He's I don't even know if he's an actual surveyor at this point.
No way.
No way.
No effing way. He does not know a thing.
You guys
All
think
of the
he's
old ones
exaggerating
used
his credentials?
Absolutely.
Hmm.
Yeah, he told us today, because I asked that you have to have a question, right? And one of the questions is to ask these surveyors is what's the smallest vertical angle they've ever measured in order to perform trigonometry for establishing an elevation. Larry said 1,000th of a second. Which, I don't know if you know much about trigonometry, but you wouldn't have a so out of proportion triangle as to measure something so finite to do a calculation with. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it's absolutely tiny, right? 1,000th of a second.
Yeah, a second is a 3,600th of a degree.
Oh my gosh! And
So
a thousandth of that
is, yeah,
Come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's crazy.
He needs that angle.
How do
for an
you even
elevation
measure that?
change.
Yeah.
How
Right.
do you
You
even measure
don't.
that?
You don't.
Thanks, Bob
measure
Dole.
that.
I knew Bob Dole was here. Thanks, Bob Dole.
You don't.
Bob Dole, what's up, man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just chilling.
Good, good, good. Couple more people joined us. Jeremy, who you guys heard. Enigma stopped in. Farming Ganja. I Rockwell. Adam Meekin. What's up, Adam? I owe you some pictures. And
That's why I
about
dropped in.
it. To remind me. Yeah, I'll see if I can get those to you tonight.
Yeah, no worries, bro.
So what's going on? What happened over the weekend? Jeremy, I heard you've been killing it in gems.
Bro, they all need caskets.
So what's been going on over there? What are they all talking about these days?
Same thing, same nonsense. They're always confused and they need help. Luckily, chemo goes a lot and tries to help them. It's like trying to teach people that don't want to learn.
I did stop in there, I think it was Saturday, and they were talking about the debate between Randy and Austin. Witsit gets it.
Oh, did that even happen? I gotta.
Yeah, the debate between Witsit, Ranty, Katz, and whoever that chick is. 3-1. Yeah, wasn't bad. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How'd it turn out?
Yeah, Ranty got saved many times.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
everyone was asking Witsit what Ranty wanted to ask him. I don't think Ranty answered anything.
So what was it, like basically 3-on-1 or what?
Yeah.
They do that thing
Basically
where
an
they
unfair-
pretend they're being neutral and clarifying something when actually they're making a point on the globe side.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
yeah,
kept
yeah.
trying to get
Witsit.
Witsit.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
it was
Witsit,
3-on-1,
you need
it
to
was-
answer Ranty's questions. She was saying, and Ranty didn't answer a single question. Witsit had, he would deflect it back. He'd
if
be
it was
like,
three.
"How far away do you think the geometric horizon is?" He's like, "How far away do you think it is?" Go ahead, Jeremy.
No, I was gonna say if it was 3-on-1, then it was clearly an unfair advantage for Witsit
Yeah,
because they're gonna need
Yeah.
more people than that.
They did, but they're so delusional that I'm sure that Ranty's come out of it thinking that he won.
When I was in GEMS, I did get the distinct impression that those guys were licking their wounds a little bit, making up excuses for what happened. I'll have to go back and watch it. I didn't get a chance to watch it. Is it worth watching?
No.
No? Okay. All right. Then I'll skip it then. Yeah. Huh.
It would be nice for a debate,
I
or,
think
you know, like a
if I was
proper
to
debate.
continue,
Go on.
Adam?
yeah, I was going to say just to continue the analogy. It was all right. I thought Ranty did okay. To be fair, I don't think he lost. I think it was a hard one. And the point to continue the analogy, I think the wounds that, if there were any inflicted, could have been a lot deeper. I think there was a lot more detail that is out there, this forum particularly, that could have been used to win the argument or destroy the argument. But there wasn't a great deal that was brought to have to destroy. And there appears to be a confused argument. But I mean, for me, if I'm being honest, I don't think Ranty lost, really. It was a when asked should I watch it, probably that's the correct response. No, it wasn't. It was one of those, like, you know, when you got a big fight build. It weren't. And it weren't even like a 12 rounder. Do you know what I mean? It was over pretty quick, wasn't it? As well, guys. So.
What was Ranty's argument? If it was a debate, what was Ranty's point?
Earth curves hidden behind Blackpool. You can't see it if it was.
No.
Behind Blackpool. No.
It's impossible on a flat Earth.
Yeah.
That's his claim. It's impossible on a flat Earth.
Why? Because there's elevation, there's mountains in the distance, and the Earth is obviously not flat.
And that's the strength of the argument, isn't it? Instead of saying here's a ball proof, what we're now dealing in 2021 as flat earthers isn't ball proofs anymore. It's here we've got something that we think could prove it couldn't be on a flat plane. I'm happy that the argument's developed to that stage. It's a win, isn't it?
Their argument is essentially, we see what we see. We see this, it's because of Earth curvature, right? But they never substantiated that there's actually Earth curvature there. That's the thing that always bothers me. I understand their argument and what they're applying to it, but you got to prove that the Earth is actually curved before you can use that as a cause. I don't know. It just seems self-referential to me.
How could you ever measure curvature when all you can measure is elevation from the horizontal?
I don't
Up and
know.
down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No idea. But, you know.
Like, what is the curvature you're looking for? Because there are mountains, right? There's a curvature upwards where a mountain is. And then you get to the top and it curves back down again. So there's obviously Earth curvature. So to say that you're looking for Earth curvature, to me, sounds a little bit silly. When it comes down to it, what you are looking for is the curvature of the water level or level. That's what you've got to do. And to substantiate that, you've got to measure it in reference to something. Well, the only tool that does that is a level. So how can you reference the curvature of a level against a level? Well, you could use different levels. I mean, you can do it. But to say that you can see it in a picture, it's a bit ridiculous.
That's the bit of concession, Bev, I think that's come out of this picture, is that we aren't no longer dealing with geometry. We're no longer looking for the leading edge. Even though it's there, we can't. There's this thing that we no longer can see the geometry that we're supposedly calculating.
We can see a geometric horizontal horizon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everything that we see is geometry. It's 3D Euclidean. Everything.
Yeah. that horizon was previously ascribed as geometric, though, wasn't it? That's the purpose. I think
horizontal.
that horizon's now described, I think, by Ruhif as irrelevant.
It really is geometric, though.
Yeah.
Even Nathan, conceded to that it is a horizontal geometric horizon that we see. It's not a sphere edge.
Yeah, I think that's what Adam's referring to. Is they claimed for a very long time that it was a sphere edge. Now they don't even want to talk about any kind of sphere edge, right? They don't even want to talk about the horizon at all.
They don't want to talk about geometry because they know there's no backing for geometry on their model. I mean, that's where all of the proofs are within mathematics. Literally, the proofs are within geometry. That's not a joke. When they say there's no proof in science, so the proof is in maths, well, they mean proof is within mathematics. It's within geometry. All of the proofs.
Yeah, surveying is just applied geometry, right? X, Y, and Z coordinates. That's how everything's surveyed. That's how everything's recorded. Go into Google Earth, check it out. All the elevation is measured. It's all been done. They don't have a curved baseline. It's a horizontal baseline foundation underneath everything. That's the way everything's measured.
What do you guys know about this geoid reference model that they have?
Trash. It's just trash. You could ask Flatzoid about it.
It's a mathematical construct. Sorry, I got a train going by.
And how does that work? How did they develop that geoid model? What's it called again?
WGS84.
Yeah. How did they develop that? Supposedly.
It's they have to have something, right? They have to have a system to take all of the real numbers and put them into, and try to create that concept of a globe. But the geoid itself goes above ground, below ground. It's not a non-existent, conceptual thing. You can Google it and it'll tell you that it's just a concept. It's not reality at all.
Perpendicular. The surface is perpendicular to a vertical. The geoid. The surface of the geoid is perpendicular. It's horizontal. You can conceptually put it around a ball if you want to, but every individual part of it is a horizontal plane and built upon that. You won't get anybody to disagree.
Now, is this released publicly? This WGS84, like the details of it, or?
Yeah, there's a North American vertical datum of 1988, and then WGS84 is just the entire construct of the BS. It's not anything anyone uses. Surveyors today use the total station. They collect data points from existing datums and reference points, right? They don't measure much of anything unless it's new construction. So they're not really surveying at all. They take their instrument out, they pop the button, and it tells them where they're at. So they never really know.
First order measurements. That's the main thing. First order, what they did first.
Oh, you cut.
Yeah, first order maps. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? First order maps.
That means when the guys went out with the real horizontal measuring instruments and surveyed everything and put down all the datums, benchmarks, and all.
Yeah, that's the highest order of accuracy. Like the
right.
first order's the closest they can get to perfect.
Okay.
And that they normally lay out a line, they call it. And that would be, they start out in like say initially in the UK, it was in Liverpool, and then they spread out along the lines, and then they moved it to Newby down south. And then everything's referenced to that one point. It's just a vertical datum from one point. There's a brass thing on the floor, right down the bottom of the south of the UK. And every vertical elevation mark is referenced from that one point. So if you're like 10 foot above sea level, you're 10 foot a mean sea level, you're 10 foot above that point. Way down in south.
I don't even think Ranty understands what mean sea level is. when he was looking at that photo, he's like, where, how high is the sea level? Well, sea level means sea level is 0. That's your baseline. I don't know what he was thinking. I guess he thinks, you got high tide, you got low tide, and sea level constantly changes. It's pretty interesting.
Here's an interesting sentence. In the 1950s, the United States Department of Defense, together with scientists of other institutions and countries, began to develop the needed world system to which geodetic data could be referred and compatibility established between the coordinates of widely separated sites of interest. Efforts of the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force were combined, leading to the DoD World Geodetic System, WGS-60. So here again, we have something that traces back to the Department of Defense and the military-industrial complex that we all
measurements before that.
Yeah, and,
they surveyed the U.S. all the way back. George
yeah.
Washington was a surveyor.
Yeah, it's like a
GPS
1927.
points did they plot on the ocean?
No one surveys the ocean.
No, I mean, like, because they all use GPS, right? So all our GPS points are on land.
GPS
How many
is
are on
third,
the
fourth
ocean?
Order measurements.
Right. But that's what all these guys will go to is GPS.
Yeah, but it's third, fourth order measurements, and they're based on the first order measurements they did a long time ago.
Yeah, the 1927 survey is what most people use now. They use that datum because it's accurate before all the geoid nonsense came in 1984. They still reference back to what, 1927, 1929?
Really? That's interesting. Here it says something about
AD 27.
heritage surveying methods found elevation differences from a local horizontal determined by the spirit level, plumb line, or an equivalent device that depends on the local gravity field. We'll ignore that sentence or that bit for a minute.
But let's ask that spirit level.
That's all right.
Yeah, that spirit level. Change that to a water level.
That is a trick, though. That third thing that measured gravity. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. I guess a rock. I don't know. A plumb bob. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what the geoid is.
They just throw that in.
Gravitational anomalies.
I want to make sure they say gravity in there somewhere. The latter observational method is more suitable for global mapping. Wait, what's that say? As a result, the elevations in the data are referenced to the geoid, a surface that is not readily found using satellite geodesy. What the fuck does that mean?
I'll tell you what it means. It means mean sea level is established at a point or maybe a few tidal station points. But under land, that 0 is obviously under the land. So that's what you're referencing. You're referencing the mean sea level that isn't actually on the land. It's reference to the horizontal plane, right? I call it a horizontal plane. You call it whatever you want, but you'd struggle to bend a 2-dimensional shape under, It's just the mean sea level under the land. And
Okay.
that's what you're referencing all your heights to.
Yeah, obviously, if you're up in the sky or wherever looking down, you can't see that if you're over land. Okay. The latter observational method is more suitable for global mapping. Therefore, a motivation and a substantial problem in the WGS and similar work is to patch together data that were not only made separately for different regions, but to re-reference the elevations to an ellipsoid model rather than to the geoid.
Yeah. You know how many radius you have on an ellipsoid? Oh, man, an infinite, right? You don't have a 3959 radius. You've got who knows what.
You got a little whoa.
It's just a little chubby, right?
Little pear-shaped at the bottom.
Little pear shape.
Which way is up and down in space?
It's all relative. Down is towards the ground. Let's keep reading this and see if we learn anything here. In accomplishing WGS-60, a combination of available surface gravity data, astrogeodetic data, and results from HIRAN and Canadian SHORAN, I'm not sure what those are. Surveys were used to define a best-fitting ellipsoid and an Earth-centered orientation for each of initially selected data. So that's what the Department of Defense and the scientists that they hired were doing, was taking all these separate data that was collected by surveyors all over the world and connecting them together in this WGS 60, referencing a ellipsoid. So they're the ones who did that, right? Took that data and combined
1960, yeah. A lot of things happened in 1960, 1961.
it. Yeah, NASA just came to be, what, 58, right?
Yep. John Glenn supposedly orbited the Earth in 1961. Then the Antarctic Treaty, everything happened right then.
Weird. Very weird.
Yeah, the last survey of the UK was done 1960. The last full survey of all of the points.
And funny, that's about the time when rocketry became powerful and we were able to obtain heights. And machinery were able to go far out, icebreakers and the like. But especially rocketry.
Yeah, that's really when we had, for sure, the capability, and not just us, other countries too. I'm thinking USSR.
We've gone downhill since then.
Yeah. Going anywhere we wanted on Earth, certainly. That we know of. And very high. Yeah.
And then nuclear... sorry, Brandon.
I was just going to say, I'd love to be a fly on the wall back then and know what the hell was going on and what they were talking about at that time.
Yeah, man. I was just gonna say, if we're to believe those nuclear blasts that they did in the upper atmosphere, it was around, those days, right? So all these things, why would you do that? You have the capability of going high, and then all of a sudden you want to blast stuff, and you know there's danger of spreading radiation. Why would you do that? When before that you would, do the tests underground, underwater. Funny that, eh?
Because we might live in a simulation. They would rather we live in a simulation than the Earth could be flat.
Yeah, I think when aircraft technology got good in the 1930s up into the 1960s, they started getting out all around and they realized, man, this thing is not what we thought it was. And for public safety reasons, I think that's why they perpetuate the globe lie. They think people would probably panic and go crazy if they were, on some other thing that they couldn't get out of and they couldn't, feel free like they could possibly go to the moon or Mars or whatever. I think it's just a psyop.
Well, and the inevitable question then becomes, well, why are we in here? And what is out there? And no one would stop until they figured that out, right? I mean, people would, that would be the number one thing that people would talk about, probably.
The ultimate.
I'm really not interested in going to Antarctica and freezing my ass off to find out. Sorry.
If they were to tell
Dude,
us
you're
the
in
truth, they
Canada.
would lose if they were to tell us the truth, they would lose the power. They have all the answers right now. And if they all of a sudden didn't have the answers, they'd be in a weird position. Like, we don't know. What are we gonna do? That's how they managed to get the power from the religion in the first place, by claiming that they had the answers.
You're absolutely right. Think about it. It's logical, right? You're the powers that be, right? You control everything. Now, up until now, it's a globe, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden, you attain the technology to go up high. Now, when you go up high, you find out, damn, this thing ain't a ball. It's flat. Whatever shape, whatever. I'm just saying something.
Right on me there.
Yeah. The thing is now, what do? Do you tell the public and lose your power like Jeremy just said? Or do you keep the lie going? It's a sphere.
And do we want to know? What if the reason, something that occurred to me in the last year or so, what if the reason that they're not telling us the truth of what's going on is because the truth is really fucked up.
Because they want you to find the creator yourself.
Yeah, it's like what's his name? That astronaut went down to Antarctica and tweet like, "There's evil down here, unspeakable evil," and what is his name? Buzz Lightyear. That's what I call him.
Buzz Aldrin said that?
Yeah, he tweeted that. He said that there's some unspeakable evil down here, and then he deleted the tweet. That's not a verbatim quote, but it's something like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look for that. I somehow I missed that one.
Yeah, out there in the outer space, not the inner pond.
Buzz Aldrin tweeted, "We are all in danger. It is evil itself." This is one of those stupid fact-checking sites. Humanity.
They'll probably say you never did it.
Yeah, it says it's false. Let's see what he actually said. His words, and showed a photograph. Huh. I don't know. Maybe it was a hoax. I'm not sure.
I don't know. He got sick. He had to be evacuated out of there. I don't know. Who knows? Just a story.
Yeah, right. But it is weird because there have been people that have gone down there and visit. Like, Kerry went down there and visited right around the election, or like, why are these powerful people going down to Antarctica?
Just me.
Bad. Super speed. Like catching up.
Yeah.
Oh, we're
something's
getting
lagging.
Brandon sounds like a robot.
Yeah, Discord must be messing up right now. How do I sound now?
You're good.
Yeah, you're
it's back to normal now.
Yeah, you're back now.
Okay, cool. Yeah, there's some weird shit going on down in Antarctica for sure, regardless of whether the Earth's are
Funny
flat
how you
or
say
not.
down.
Yeah, over there.
Yeah, out.
Yeah, old habits die hard, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Buzz Aldrin tweets about evil. Yeah, I'm trying to find. Yeah, it doesn't matter, I guess. This operation.
I can't believe those Snopes thing. Sorry.
No, those are crap, politically driven nonsense most of the time. Operation Fishbowl was a series of high-altitude nuclear tests in '62, part of Operation Dominic. Yeah, let's just shoot up some rockets up in the atmosphere as high as we can get them and detonate giant bombs. That sounds like a good idea.
Not just any bomb.
Dominic means
nuclear
from the Lord.
Yeah.
What if they were trying
that
to break through the dome and actually did it? Do they not understand?
Yeah. What if they were just trying to kid you that rockets could go up that far?
Or that they actually did have nukes? I mean, who knows? They might not even have nukes.
Yeah, I'm really skeptical about the whole nuke thing as well.
Me too.
That would be a genius fucking ploy, man. God, that would be so good.
Proof that they did any of it
duck
at
and
all?
cover, man.
Right? You know what they told me in training, in military training, with the joke around. If you see a nuclear blast, if you see a nuclear bomb go off, the best thing to do is to run towards the blast.
They say you can tell. They say you can tell you're within blast radius by if you hold your thumb up, and if your thumb can't cover the smoke cloud, then you're in the radius. But if your thumb covers the smoke cloud, you're good, and you're not in range.
There you go. See, that's what we teach you guys. Practical things that you can use in your everyday life here.
Where'd you learn that from? Data?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you get that from Planet Data?
Oh, that's fucked up.
Bomb blast.
I got that
Duck
straight
and
off
cover.
TikTok. Straight off TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
But there's something to that phony nuclear stuff. We all know the guy that eats uranium, the guy that was part of designing the nuclear reactors, and he would swim in the where they would keep the plutonium. You guys heard of that guy?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Can't remember his name. What was it?
Was at the tip of my tongue. I can't remember.
Somebody will think of it. Yeah, I mean, I have seen some of the breakdowns of the videos, and if you watch them back, the nuclear test videos, they look fake as fuck, really.
Yeah. Little models.
They look like little toys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
They look as fake as the early moon stuff, and like, you know, when they put that shuttle up there. It looks like that to me. Yeah.
It's funny that you never knocked the camera over the blast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
that's
always
right.
like, it was all that shit was about being the big dog. We went to space. We've got nukes. Fear us. We're the boss. Just all propaganda. Just like today.
Yeah. Yeah, my missus was trying to tell a lad earlier about the Cold War. And it's like, I don't know, nothing really. They were just trying to shit everybody up. That was it. There's nothing ever actually happened, did it?
Not
Except
really.
money.
Their tanks.
Spies
Except
killing
money
spies.
being funneled. Yeah.
They always have big parades with all the soldiers, all the tanks, all the warheads. You know, look at what we got. Don't mess with us. Leave us alone. It's silly.
Oh yeah.
Fear, innit? Just want people scared.
People
Easier
are
to control
so
if you're scared.
susceptible to fear. It's unbelievable. I don't know if any of you guys are into investing, like in crypto or anything, but the littlest tiny negative thing can just shift an entire market one way or the other. And it's in investing, you can see it
big guys
happening
use
in
that
real
to their
time.
advantage.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Just the other day, they were like, we got gas shortages, you know? And everybody's like, oh shit. And everybody started going out and buying gas. You know, it's like panic buying. They do it on purpose, you know?
I think they sell their stock beforehand and then they just make a text. If you're a big guy, all you got to do is just tweet something and there you go. You just made a couple of 100 million.
Right.
And Elon Musk is one of the worst for it, too.
Insider trading is real.
Didn't he do it just the other day?
Yeah, with Bitcoin, yeah.
Yeah.
And he tied it to environmentalism, saying that Bitcoin was bad for the environment. And it tanked everything. Not totally, but a little bit. But that Elon Musk, man, he is... I don't trust that guy for nothing.
He is Iron Man. He is Iron Man. This is the guy they have to sell the fantasy.
Yep.
He is our real life Iron Man with his SpaceX and his spacesuits and his landing rockets, landing backwards.
Yeah, he does sell a lot of like science fiction-y sounding crap to the general public and is kind of revered as, you know, modern day. Yeah, Iron Man. I guess you're right, man. Iron Man is probably the best analogy for Elon Musk at this point. Yeah.
What is it, Tony Stark? What's the name?
Yeah. He's got to be a character, right? Elon Musk, an actor of some kind.
For sure. Just listen to him talk.
Right. And he says stupid shit too, like you can tell it's real because it looks so fake. I mean, that is the dumbest thing to say.
He's like Simon and Dan. If he ever gets off script or somebody's interviewing him, you know, he's like, I don't know. But as long as he's got that script, he's
typical
good.
double play. That it looks so real. You can tell it's real because it looks so fake. I mean, that's a typical double play of you know. How do you know from him saying that what to believe from anyone?
No doubt. It's genius. I mean, it's genius.
Yeah.
Don't kid yourself. These guys are just fucking geniuses with the psychological shit they pull. And
They've
unfortunately...
been practicing it for over 100. Look up Bernays, Edward Bernays. They've been practicing stuff for 100 years.
Somebody might be able to find this for me. I already know the information would be great. And now I understand, you know, Operation Fishbowl when Dominic and all that stuff when it happened. But what year was the very first time that they released supposedly these videos that look so fake? What was the year they released them?
You talking about the nuclear test videos?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because I've been trying to find the answer and I still can't find it. I don't know if anybody already knew. Because I'm sure they're not going to release this shit right out there. It should be classified, right?
Well, they probably would put it on TV because the American people only believe something if they see it on television.
Right, right.
So yeah, they probably put it out right away.
Yeah, 4 out of 5 dentists say. Okay.
Yeah, you know, it's not only the videos that they put out there too to create the fear. They had kids in school hiding under their desks and doing drills and shit. That's
Duck
pretty
and
sadistic.
cover?
Pretty sick, yeah.
Yeah.
Had songs, duck and cover.
Crazy.
Scaring the shit out of everybody. Half of the states had bomb shelters back in the 50s, no?
Yeah, there was actually a pretty good industry of going around and building residential bomb shelters for people. It would be pretty cool to have a bomb shelter. I don't know what you do in it, but it'd be kind of cool.
I don't know. It reminds me of Blast from the Past. The guy lived his whole life in a bomb shelter and came out.
Oh, is that the one with what's his name?
The big tall guy. I don't know.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah, Brendan Fraser.
His dad sent him out with the baseball cards. It was just the plane crash. That movie was awesome.
Yeah. That was cool.
Yeah, I'll have to go watch that. I used to love that movie. I don't see. Can't find it quickly, Stacy, when those were released, but maybe somebody will know.
That's okay. I appreciate it. I figured that maybe somebody might know, but I didn't expect you guys to have the answer. But thank you guys.
Yeah, no problem. Well, it's quiet in here tonight, huh? It's kind of nice.
You know, timing is a really big key, though, if we're going to look back on history to find out when everything was done, to figure out some.
Globers are scared of the on the level people.
Rob, you can't hear Stacy talking?
That's okay.
I'm sorry, I do not. I gotta check. Hang on.
Go ahead, Stacy.
Sorry, Stacy. I didn't.
Sorry.
I did have her muted. Well, low.
How dare
Oh,
you. I must have given
damn.
hot
Sorry.
You're fine, man.
Sorry.
What'd you do to Rob, Stacy?
What I do to everybody one night, probably.
Hey, we all have our days.
Hey, Biodual's here. Figure out that water level yet?
Oh God! Why'd you talk to him? God!
No, that I don't initiate this shit.
Don't initiate what?
Yeah. I like you, Biodual.
Hey, Baidu, you know what the flattest surface in the universe is?
Why don't you let me know, Essie?
You don't know?
But the straightest line in the universe, right?
Yeah, the straightest line in the universe.
Go ahead, Essie.
Tell him, Cleary.
The canal next to LIGO.
That's good.
Funny that, eh?
That's pretty funny.
Now, why you figure they would build that next to a
I
canal?
wish I wouldn't have been on mute. That was hilarious, Pete.
I got one more.
I'm gonna go sneak in the gate tomorrow.
Huh?
Yeah, it's right there where Rakia lives. Is LIGO.
Get a drone. We've
I'm
got
6
some drone
miles away.
footage. It looks like the
never even
canal's
knew it
been
was there.
grown over.
Did you guys see the photo? Bev, can you drop that in general? Y'all have that? I probably got it.
I'll have a look.
That flyover with the drone would be cool, too. If anybody has that.
I mean, does the canal run down the length of LIGO?
Yeah, right next to it, bro.
Here now.
Dead
I mean, that's,
straight.
yeah,
There
that's
it is.
Straight lines.
That's 2002.
Oh, I see it. Okay. Let's see here. Holy shit!
It's a right angle too down there.
Yeah.
Makes
What
a
is
perfect little right angle.
I don't.
canal.
Well, I don't think it is that one.
Not that one.
What is that location for?
LIGO.
LIGO.
It's for
Yeah, I heard
we don't know what for.
It's like a hidden, or not a hidden, but like a
Wait,
controlled.
can we
one?
maybe ask Phil Nye or the snake oil con man which one's straighter? The canal or LIGO?
See, I always thought the straightest thing in the universe was Chuck Norris, but apparently LIGO is.
Yeah, I mean, it's only Zanuck
That's a
that said
lie
it.
that they go and tell to ignorant people.
What about Chuck Norris?
No, about LIGO being straight. LIGO gay as fuck.
That's straight then. There'd be no chance at all, if you lived on a globe, that water could also be straight or be parallel to that straight line, is there?
No,
absolutely not.
This is the situation we've been looking for, right?
Well, you got it right here, bro. Built,
Well, I
ready
mean,
for you.
The water's
Present.
always been there, right?
We just
But
saw it.
what you're after is something, how to reference a straight line to the water.
Right.
Because what they have is a tangent, but that tangent moves to wherever you are. Well, this one's got a straight line right next to the water, so that can't move wherever you are. That LIGO will stay where it stays.
LIGO
and the
is not
water
built
will
on a
stay where
tangent,
it
bro.
stays.
Yeah, could you imagine the water in the middle of that canal there, 4 kilometers, 3.2 miles? Could you imagine that water humping up 1 meter? What force would cause that? It's ridiculous.
Or dropping.
It looks different now. It's got like 3 canals and 3 lines going off it.
Zoom in, you can see it.
This is
Oh, you mean
globe
now?
devastation.
Yeah, it changed now. They've added
It's
to
probably
it.
a different. It's probably a
Oh,
different
they've-
location.
They've let
okay.
they've let the canal to go overgrown because it's been a few years, and obviously you don't. No, nobody's ever said, "Oh, there's a big, massive canal at the side of it," right? And you don't know why they've said that, because they don't want you to know that there's a bit of water to reference this straight line against.
Why wouldn't they just remove the water if they were worried about what people thought about like that?
Well, go
I don't
on,
know.
Biodeal. What happens with the straight line? The straight line of LIGO and the water, are they both parallel?
No, I'm asking a simple question. If they're fully aware of reality and they're this intelligent to take precautions about particular things, why would they allow level water to be?
Why do you want us to
Oh,
read
they
your
just
mind?
don't put out the information.
Yeah.
Besides publicly accessible images of the area?
Did you know that was there? Then? I mean, has
No,
anyone
I don't know
ever
much about
mentioned that
LIGO.
before?
No.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so you
before
didn't even know
20
it was
minutes
there.
ago, you were not aware of this, right?
Right, I'm just asking a simple question of the observations being presented
They
in the
prey
chat.
Well,
on
you just
people's
answered it
ignorance.
yourself.
No, I'm
Why
asking
don't you
why.
do it?
They built
Good
this
question.
40, 50 years ago, dude.
Right.
When do you think they built this?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Why is that canal and LIGO parallel? Right? There are no parallel lines on your fake.
Do you want me to answer, or are you going to ask a question and then answer for me? Because that's fine. I don't mind.
Yeah, I don't give a damn either.
Right. Okay. So it was rhetorical. Okay.
Are you going to answer, or
No, he answered for me. Remember? Did you hear him?
so again, a non-answer? Then we've had loads of those.
No. I'd be glad to answer, but if someone's going to answer for me, why would I answer then? After.
All right, you big baby, answer the question.
No,
If
you
he's
got it.
allowing
Clearly,
someone to answer
clearly,
for
you
it.
got it right.
Oh
Are
boy.
you scared to answer?
No. I'm not scared to answer any
No.
questions.
Then answer.
Are they parallel?
Oh yeah, I don't have enough information to make that.
You've been
determination.
given plenty of opportunities to answer it.
Yeah, that's my answer. I don't have enough information
He
to say
doesn't
one
know.
way or
Yeah,
another.
yeah. Okay.
Okay, can I
Fair
ask you a
enough.
question? Now you know how long
I got the
water
same
is,
answer
right?
for the water level.
Right, those are honest answers.
Let me ask him a question, if I may. You know how long the water is now in the canal, right?
I could see in the picture. I don't know the distance, but I could see in the picture.
3.2 miles.
Yeah,
Right?
it looks pretty goddamn
Yeah,
long.
4 kilometers, something like that.
Okay,
No,
the
what, 4
question is,
kilometers? Yeah.
you know, it's 4 kilometers. Now, the question is there a hump there or is there a drop there in your interpretation of the model?
No, there's going
Or
to be a
whatever.
drop. There's going to be curvature. There's going to be
We like to
curvature over that
talk
distance.
reality, but whatever. Sorry?
Yeah, there's going to be a drop. There's going to be curvature over that distance.
How do you envision it? Like a hump in the middle and a drop between either end? Is that how you envision it?
I envision it as if I were standing on top of a basketball and everything is curving away from me. That's how I envision it.
Is that the way you see it in reality, or you just imagine
Yes.
it on a basketball? You
Yes,
see it that way
that's-
in reality?
Yes, with using only my eyeballs, no. I do see a flat
So you're saying
level surface.
You're saying LIGO and the canal. You're saying LIGO and the canal are not parallel then, because you can see it curving.
It depends on it depends on how precise you want to be. What it looks like in the picture, it looks parallel in the picture. Yeah. Is it measurably parallel? I'm not sure, but it looks like parallel in the picture.
So then the water and LIGO, if they were both curved, they would have to be both curved, right? They would have to follow the same line as you imagine it, right? If there was a hump, there would be a hump in the water and a hump at LIGO, right?
I wouldn't call it a hump. I describe the way that I perceive it.
Sagitta.
Yeah,
A sagitta. You like the word sagitta better?
From the beginning point to the end point, you could draw a chord line through the earth. Yes.
You'd be cutting through the earth. Interesting. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead, Essie. I know where you're going with that.
No, I was just wondering how we envisioned. You envisioned both the water and LIGO, right? The structure, both taking the same shape. Either if you envision like a double hump, a double drop at either end, like if you're looking at either end, or if you envision a hump. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I'm asking you.
What I'll say is that the canal will be more natural. I'm not sure how they constructed LIGO. From what I've read, they did take Earth curvature into account, but I couldn't put my paycheck on it. But as far as what you would measure, you'd be measuring water against man-made objects. So I'm not sure what correlation you could form from that.
The straightest thing in the universe, the canal
Yeah,
next to LIGO.
maybe you missed that part before. It's the straightest thing in the universe.
Fantastic. How far is the beginning end to the surface, and then how far is the end to the surface? What's that measurable amount?
Say again, from where to where?
From the beginning of this structure, where they perform these experiments within LIGO, what is the distance to the surface, and then at the end, what is the distance to the surface? Are they the
33
same?
feet.
Surface of what?
Are they both the same distance?
How high off the ground is LIGO? How high off the water is LIGO? What do you say?
Don't they perform the experiments underground?
Do you not know anything about LIGO?
I know particular things.
But you don't know that it's in the tube that's sort of on the top of the ground, right? It's not underground.
Oh, it's my impression that it was underground, because I was that other LIGO that they're trying to do in the Midwest in America. That's going to be underground. So I just assumed that LIGO was the same thing underground.
Wouldn't it be harder to get gravitational waves underground? Wouldn't you get all of the seismic activity instead?
I don't
Besides
know.
the point,
Yeah, they might be able to account for that. I'm not sure. I'm
into
not a
different
seismologist.
areas. You know, when you said earlier you were on top of the basketball, let's say you're at one end of that arm with the canal, at one end of the canal, then does the canal drop away from you, like as though you're on top of the basketball? What about if you go to the other end?
Yeah, and you look back, it'll appear to be dropping. Yeah,
it's dropping again. And then if you're in the middle, do both ends drop away from you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I thought it was the straightest thing in the universe.
Yeah, the man-made object. That's why I'm asking these particular questions. If they dug into the ground, what kind of
You're saying
adjustments they
it's
made?
curved.
Did they account for curve? Yeah, of course. There is curve of the Earth. Now, how they built it can be totally separate from it, or it could totally incorporate it.
You
I'm
just
not
said
sure.
You just said you could sight down the straightest thing in the universe and see that it's curved.
Did I say that?
No, I
Yeah.
think he was talking about the canal water
Right.
dropping away.
That's what I'm talking about. The canal.
How would they have ever made
Yeah.
the straightest thing if they measured drop from both ends, either way you go?
And in the middle.
And
Right.
yeah, how would you?
And
how do you go about doing that?
Am I arguing about it being the straightest thing, or that this man-made structure is exhibiting curvature? Have I said any of that?
You just said the water drops away, right? You do realize what a
Yeah, the
drop
canal,
is.
I would expect the canal to, yes.
You would expect a canal water to drop away from you. I mean, that sounds a bit ridiculous.
Yeah, from one end with a lot of distance.
You know what a canal is, right?
Yes.
It's not flowing water; it's standing water. Still,
Yes, that's fine.
How does it drop? You know, that's how you get water to flow by
It'll
changing
conform to the shape of the Earth, and the shape of the Earth curves. So yes.
No, that's not what it says. The curvature is the horizontal condition.
I think he's playing my model dictates.
Just so you know, Biodual is
not-
Kosho's replacement. Kosho got, I don't know, reassigned somewhere else. Biodual took his place.
Where is Kosho? I haven't seen him in a while, actually.
I don't know. You tell us. Where'd he move on to?
His
Yeah, I have
parents
no
kicked
idea.
him out. Like he fed the dog some peanut butter, and the parents said, "Get out."
Oh, he had to go get a job.
Yeah, like just driving an Uber once a week just wasn't cutting it.
It was Lyft, actually.
Yeah, that makes a difference.
So water is always dropping away from the position that you are at.
Yeah, essentially. It's harder to measure when it's low distance.
What
but,
about
It
when
was
somebody
lit.
else
easier
is
to
a
measure.
distance from you? Does the water
What-
drop to them, or does their water drop to you?
Oh yeah, depending on who your perspective is. But yes, at every perspective on Earth, to each perspective, everything is dropping away from them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
That's
how
how a sphere
levels
works.
work, mate. It's not.
No, that's how
perspective-based.
spheres work.
Well, no, spheres don't work on perspective. Sphere is a three-dimensional Euclidean shape, right?
Right, and you place any person at any arbitrary point, and then put yourself in that POV. Everything around them is appearing to drop from them. Change the POV to someone else at an
you'd
arbitrary
fall
position.
ball.
Everything is again dropping away. Yeah.
You'd fall off.
In
Can
your
we do
opinion,
a
but-
imaginary POV just for a second?
No, everyone can go outside right now, stand on the Earth, and everyone will see that everything is seemingly dropping away from them.
Okay,
Not
let's
bad.
do
Optics?
an experiment.
No, it doesn't.
Let's do a thought experiment. A point of view, like you said.
Is this going to be that
I'm on-
paradox?
we're
The
on-
two ships?
Both on the ocean now, right?
Yeah, two ships
Sorry?
looking at each other 6 miles apart or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you heard of the twin boat paradox, right?
Yeah, it's not a paradox, but yes, they both appear to be looking down in the direction of the other person. Yeah, or not down, but the water is appearing to curve away.
So we have two boats, two people standing facing each other, and they both see the water dropping.
From their reference frame, yeah.
So they
Or point
both
of
see
view.
a drop.
That'd be a better way. Yeah.
So they both see a drop.
And they're
Do they
also on
both
the same
measure a
plane.
drop? Do they both measure a drop?
They would measure a drop. I wouldn't recommend measuring anything while on the ocean, but they would. Yeah.
How would you make the straightest object in the world if from both ends you would see a drop from either end? How would you go to one end and, oh shit, there's 8 inches, and then you shoot back and it's another drop? I mean, how would
But let
Yeah,
me
this
finish
is why I was very
let me
specific
finish
about
this.
the construction of it. I'm not aware of it, so I couldn't say. But go ahead, Desi.
Just give me 2 seconds, and then I want to finish the boat thing. Okay, now let's say now we put a third boat and a fourth boat. Now we have 4 POVs. They're all looking at each other. I assume they all see like a drop, like a hole, like a well, like a sinkhole. Is that how you envision it?
No.
Measure.
Are you talking? Are we painting the picture of 4 boats? Essentially, you could call like 4 corners of a square, but they're at a distance farther than the horizon would allow them to see. Is that what you're kind of saying?
No, they're about 6 to 8 miles apart.
Right, from each other. If they can't see each
Yeah.
other, all they'll see when they look around is what appears to be a flat horizon, but the water is moving or curving away from them in each position. That's what they're each seeing themselves.
So they see a quadruple drop hump, is what you're saying.
No,
the horizon
the amount
would
of
be a hump,
of
right?
observers, don't change what one person will see. Everyone will essentially see the same thing. They're going to see a shit ton of water and nothing else, and then it's going to be measurably dropping away from them.
Flat water, right? They're each going to see flat water.
It'll appear flat. Yeah, that's
Till the
fine
eye
until you
could
measure
see,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Welcome to reality. Welcome to 3D space. Welcome to 3D space, my friend.
Right. So you said nothing.
You have now entered reality.
So you said nothing, and I've thoroughly explained what we would expect to see.
On a sphere.
No, you expected
sphere,
it. You
yeah.
said a sinkhole. Everyone's going to see a massive
Did I?
sinkhole. Then
You said sinkhole, and then you asked if I agreed.
Then it became a hump.
No. You said a sinkhole. Then you asked if I agreed, if that's what I was picturing. Do you remember what I said after that?
Yeah, then you
Shit's in the
started
flat
double
water.
speaking.
And then I
You
said no.
realized that you were in
Then
a
I said no,
conundrum, in
not a
paradox. So explain yourself. What do we see?
Each one of those observers will see the same thing. What they're going to appear to see is just a shit ton of water, and then it's the water curving away when they measure it. It's going to look flat. That's fine. I have no problem with what things look like. But when you measure it, it will be curving away from each one of them. So the number of observers don't matter. Don't change doesn't change what they're going to see.
Is
So
that
you can add 1,000
a drop from
if you want.
horizontal when you say measure?
It'll be a drop from tangential.
From horizontal?
Yeah, if you want to have an arbitrary horizontal, that's fine. I would say tangential, but that's fine. Horizontal.
Okay. Well, in order for you to have a tangent, you have to assume a curve, right?
That's fine. I don't have to assume a curve. There is a curve, so I would call it tangential. But for the sake of argument, I have no problem calling it
You
horizontal.
said they
That's
see
fine.
a shit ton of flat water. How is
Setting
it a
an
curve?
altitude line.
What's that?
Setting an altitude, right? It's above the floor.
Yeah, that's fine. That's why I'm saying.
So
for the
it's
sake of
not
argument,
a
that's fine.
tangent. You know,
Okay,
you
that's fine.
realize the tangent touches a curve at one
Yeah.
point and one point only. Well, if it's not touching a point of a
I-
curve, what do you call that?
I don't know who you're arguing because I just said, for the sake of argument, that's fine. We can call it horizontal. That's fine.
It's a horizontal plane then. It's not a tangent.
It's a horizontal
And
line. I wouldn't call it a horizontal plane.
You are
but-
measuring a drop from that.
Yeah, that's fine. Sure.
You know, Cleary has a question to say what would you call that a measured vertical change?
If you have a reference, I would call it elevation.
There you go.
Is that what?
So,
yeah.
So is that what you're saying? That away from you, the water drops in elevation?
No, I wouldn't say that. No.
Oh. Well, that's what a measured change in horizontal is, right?
No, that measure change vertically.
Yeah.
When
to the horizontal, right?
it's got to, you have to have a reference. If you're referencing it to sea level and something deviates vertically from sea level, that will be your elevation change, whether it's positive or negative. But that's totally separate from creating an arbitrary
altitude,
horizontal line across a level surface and measuring vertical change. That's totally separate.
It's the same thing. It's like that's what
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
the
It's
same
just
thing.
a
The only
measurable
things
change
in the ladder,
in
the
vertical.
reference is the relative measurement that you took before.
Well, what I'm saying is across a level surface. If you have a vertical change across a level surface, that's going to give you your curvature. Because if it's a level surface and it's experiencing vertical change, then it can't be elevation because we already established it's level.
Yeah, but it's a level surface, right? You use a level to establish a horizontal plane, right? And then you measure a change from that. The change in the land, usually.
Right.
The elevation
To a
of
certain
the
extent,
land
sure.
is a measured change in the vertical.
Can you have a
Right.
hump or a drop without having elevation change?
Yeah, you could have a drop, of course. Yeah, I wouldn't call it a hump. I'm not sure why you use hump, but I think you're talking about the sagitta. But I would call it a drop. Yeah.
Have you ever done any surveying?
Have I done surveying? No, my
Yeah.
my dad has for blowing up land for construction companies. But outside of that, I don't have any experience.
Right. Okay.
We may
It's
read
just
a
that you
couple
seem to
super
be
chats,
speaking
guys.
as though you do know.
I can only speak on what my opinion would be or what I know, and then the parts that I don't know, the
Yeah,
parts that I don't know or have information on, I will clearly let you know. As
Yeah,
others
yeah,
who
yeah,
know,
yeah,
I
you will. Right. Unicorn laser eyes, $5. Ballers aren't right in the head. Keep it level, guys. Thanks, Unicorn laser eyes. Appreciate that. JQ, $5. Nothing funnier than putting globies in this paradox. They all have slightly different versions of the doublespeak, but it's all equally hilarious. Thanks, JQ. Appreciate it. Go ahead. You guys were just getting somewhere.
Like I say, I've been doing this for quite a while, and elevation changes is going to it's going to kill the globe model, isn't it? Because you people like you, Bio, you have to have elevation being curvature, don't you? It's the same thing.
Nope.
Yeah,
I don't equate those two things. I've made it very clear. I don't equate those two things as being the same.
You know how to measure a change in elevation, then?
Yeah, so long as I know the reference. Yeah.
Yeah, the datum.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
And so for the datum in the UK, we have a brass thing on the floor at Newlyn, and then all of the elevation changes are measured from that one point.
Babe, I don't think he understands what a vertical change from an established horizontal is. Do you know what a vertical change from the horizontal is, Baidu?
He absolutely does.
Where you set up your horizontal with an auto level or a theodolite, and then you measure changes from that imaginary horizontal line or plane.
Yeah, for
And what do you call
elevation, you
that?
just deal with an auto level, right?
No, that's fine. Again, I'm not
Theodolites
professional.
measure angles.
Yeah, of course.
We're not dealing with angles. We're just dealing with a horizontal plane and a change in the.
But you can deal with angles, right? Because that'll still measure the same thing.
It's
Not
that third or
accurately.
fourth order again. Trigonometrical leveling isn't not the standard of accuracy we're talking about. We're talking about first order accuracy here. We want to be millimeter accurate, so we'd use the best tools for the job. Auto levels nowadays, but back in the day it would have been a water level.
Yeah, use the auto level with a differential leveling techniques over short increments to determine elevation changes. Do you understand what that means, Baidu?
Yeah, you're basically, what is it called, closing the loop or some shit, where you're doing a bunch of little ones to make one big measurement.
Yeah. So if you can measure elevation changes based on the horizontal, how do you measure curvature? Or
You'd have to have a established height of something. I would assume that you would use essentially two theodolites, two markers, two auto levels, however it's set up, and then do shots back and forth from each other with known heights off the ground and known elevations of the ground. That's what I would assume.
Would it
but I'm
be
not
safe?
professional.
Would it be safe to say you have absolutely no idea how you can measure curvature because all you can
With,
measure
in
is
this
elevation?
specifically, yeah. This specifically, I'm not a professional, so I don't know. The only thing I have to go off of is the released information of people like Soundly and other people.
Oh, reputable sources.
No, that's my only source. Yeah, I'd love to look at other
sources.
measurements taken, but
That could be a problem.
it totally could be. Yeah,
Sound like
I'm not a professional. I'm not well versed.
The best you've got is a YouTuber.
Oh, come on, guys. Don't get lost in the weeds. Let's stick on the content.
Yeah, here's content for you. Stanley's not a surveyor.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. That's fine. Yeah. I mean, what can I do?
But that you listed that as your number one source for
Yeah, you want to hear my number 2 source? I don't know, man.
Why'd you cut me
Google
off?
and manuals.
Are you
Google.
nervous?
What am I nervous about?
Arguing, guys.
Wait, I've only
Go
talked
ahead,
once.
Manual.
You cut me off both times, man.
Right,
Yeah,
because the way that you're making it sound is that I have like 10 sources
Yeah,
and I've
go
done extensive research on this, and I only list one person who's a YouTuber on the Globe side. I have limited information. when it
Larry
comes to
Scott,
this, of course.
Jesse, Soundly, Rumpus. That's all you learned from, right? Rumpus.
Oh, I haven't
Soundly,
even
Jesse,
seen
Larry.
Rumpus. I haven't seen Rumpus's stuff either. I don't chill on YouTube. I'm normally Discord, and then I Google and learn where I can. I'm not really a YouTuber.
Yeah, we talked to Larry Scott today. Larry Scott was telling us today he takes a theodolite, looks from mountaintop to mountaintop, 27.5 miles. Do you know what surveying technique that is?
No, go on.
Doesn't
Let me know,
exist.
professional.
It doesn't exist.
Yeah, but
People
can you
don't do
not
that.
do that though?
Of course you can.
You could measure a horizontal distance over great lengths, but you can't survey elevation changes and pretend mountain ranges are dropping and ignoring perspective.
No, that's fine. But wouldn't the point of that be if you're at a particular elevation, looking at the elevation of a particular mountain, whether when you establish your horizontal, whether that mountain's above or below that horizontal line, because due to the laws of perspective, things above your eye line won't go below, and then vice versa.
No, that doesn't work that way. Not with that instrument. It's not designed for a range like that.
But you just said it's no problem to establish a horizontal line.
No, what I said was you can measure horizontal distances over farther lengths.
Right. So establish the horizontal,
But you cannot,
and then you could
you
determine whether
cannot-
something is above or below that horizontal line.
No, I'm talking about a horizontal distance between A to B. I'm not talking about elevation changes. You cannot measure that.
No, so that's not an elevation change. You're not measuring an elevation change. You're observing something that it's. Let's just, for example, say something that is a bigger elevation below your horizontal line. Wouldn't that pose a problem for flat Earth?
No, you cannot abuse surveying instruments, and you can't pretend like your eye line is somewhere where you want it to be on a black pool photo. Okay.
Well, what's
That's
the
just
operating
bullshit.
range for a theodolite?
What you doing
You
with
tell
it?
me. I don't have one.
Right. The only information I have for theodolites is that they don't have an operating range. That they
What are
essentially
you
work
doing with
infinity.
it? What are you doing with it?
And anything. What's the operating range? Is there one?
What are you doing with it?
Long distance observations.
It's got a scope. For what purpose?
Does the
Looking at
purpose
birds?
change? Does the purpose change how effective it is at a particular distance?
Yeah, of course it does.
It has an
What are you
effective
doing
range.
with it?
Long distance establishing horizontal. Long distance. That's all.
You don't establish horizontals with the theodolite. We've told you that at the beginning.
Well, I thought Cleary said that you do with the
No,
theodolite.
you dumbass. I
He
said
didn't say that.
horizontal distance. Do you understand what that is?
A horizontal
From
distance, yeah,
A
from
to
point A to
B.
B. Yeah.
Right.
So how are you doing that with the theodolite if it's only measuring angles?
You were the one that were doing it, weren't you?
No, I'm asking again. I'm not a
telling
professional,
us.
and I have bad
You don't.
sources apparently. So I'm asking questions to better learn how to utilize this equipment.
He thinks
You don't.
he thinks he's got an N now because I said horizontal.
No, I'm genuinely asking questions, and if I find that something seems inconsistent, I'm going to ask about it so you can clarify. That's all.
Okay,
Yeah,
then
right.
you don't measure horizontal distances with a theodolite.
I thought Cleary just said that. He said you don't do a horizontal plane.
He just
but
said
you measure
he
horizontal
didn't say
distance.
that.
Hold on, I have a question.
Yeah,
What's the
clearly you
difference-
did say that. He said
What's the
horizontal
Right.
distance.
This is why I'm
more
confused
accurate
because you guys are
with
giving
theodolite.
different answers.
Hold on, let me ask my question. I think you'll answer. What's the difference between establishing horizontal distance and establishing horizontal plane?
You serious?
Because
One's
to me,
horizontal, one's vertical.
okay. I mean that answers my question.
So it seems like there's you guys are kind of contradicting each other. So Bev says you don't measure horizontal distance with the theodolite, but Cleary said that's what you do.
He said it would be more accurate to use it to measure horizontal distances.
So which is it? Can we do that or can we not do that? Because I'm just
I
a
personally
layman.
haven't used it. I mean, I haven't done the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India. I haven't done that, but that's what they did trigonometrically, right? Surveying distances.
They
Horizontal
surveyed
distance.
angles, didn't they?
Yeah.
They set up a
180 degrees.
baseline, actually measured a baseline of a triangle, one baseline, and then measured angles and did trigonometry from the rest. But that's just to mark a point, and that has to be triangulated in loads of different positions. It's not a measured horizontal distance.
Yes, it's a calculated
There you go.
distance.
But the
It also
calculated,
uses celestial bodies.
yeah, calculated horizontal, right?
Yeah.
And then plotted on a map, 2D, a flat map, 2D,
Yeah.
horizontal.
Yeah, you guys don't even know the difference. We're not really concerned that much about distance, right? We're concerned about
Yeah, I never brought
elevation
distance up.
change.
Yeah.
I'm
Well, what
not
Larry
entirely
Scott
sure
does-
where.
Yeah, what Larry
I
Scott
think
does is
Cleary,
not
you just
determining
mentioned that
horizontal.
to paint the difference between the two. So you said it measures distance, and then what's his name? I don't know if it was Bev, disagreed with you, saying it doesn't measure distance, and now it's we've
it
kind of
doesn't
agreed
measure
that it's calculating
distance.
the distance based off
Yeah.
of the base measurement that you have.
Yeah, I don't have a theodolite. I figure you could use it for ranging. That's what they do. Whatever.
It's not like a laser, like tape or whatever you call them, that measures the distance. It's just they're doing trigonometry off their base thing and they're calculating it. So yeah,
it's on a horizontal, right? They go to the top of mountains and they look at other mountains and they measure an angle between mountaintop to mountaintop, right? Over large distances. But that's a horizontal angle.
Yeah,
It's
I
not a
thought you couldn't do
vertical
that.
angle.
Remember when I brought that up about mountain peak to mountain peak, long distance? You said we can't do that, but you just said yes, they do that.
Angles, didn't I?
No.
It's a horizontal.
I specified looking from mountain peak to mountain peak, and if you're at a particular elevation and you see a mountain that has a known elevation that is greater but appears lower than your horizontal, then you have a problem.
That's the vertical angle.
I just said horizontal.
Vertical, right?
I just said horizontal. When you
I
look
know,
out,
because you were talking. You mean
above or below your
a vertical angle, not a horizontal. I'm talking horizontal, as in turning from left to right. That angle, not an up
so
and
why
down
can't you
angle.
do up and down then?
Because that's a vertical angle.
No, that's fine, but in principle, so you could do left and right at this great distance. You could do left and right. Why can't you do up and down?
Because you can't. You don't do elevations like that, do you?
No. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying. Mountaintop. That's not how you do it. But I know you don't know how you do it.
This is a very simple question, though. If you're saying that you can go left and right and make accurate measurements, why can't you go up and down and make accurate measurements? What is the difference?
One's vertical and the other one's horizontal.
Perfect. So what is the problem?
What are you assuming?
No. There's no assumptions. I'm just asking.
Yes, there is. I'm asking you, what are you doing?
No. The purpose of what I'm doing doesn't change how an instrument works. I'm asking, why can't you do up and down? Why?
Because the instrument is not designed for that.
It's not an angle that you do, right? Because if you're trying to you end up with an angle, a vertical angle. Yeah? Yes?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
Right, so what are you measuring? What are you going to do with the calculation of that one vertical angle?
How does that change? How does that change the range or the capability of the equipment? No. That's irrelevant.
What do you mean it's irrelevant?
No, that is irrelevant. The purpose of what I'm doing, or the reason why I'm making these measurements, has nothing to do whether an instrument is capable of doing something.
Well, so what are you doing then? You just tool abuse then? You're just saying,
sure, I'm playing with it. I found a
can you swing the theodolite round and smash it on the floor 8 times? Yes, you can. Why are you doing it?
I found a theodolite.
It's irrelevant,
I found a theodolite. I went to a mountain peak and I look over at another mountain peak. And you're saying what I can do is I can measure angles left and right from that established point, but I can't do it up and down. And I'm asking, why can't I?
Because it's a vertical angle. Right, you could if you wanted to. You could pretend you're Larry Scott and go and join him.
So there's no real reason. Your reason is because it's vertical, but that's it. Is that how
I'm asking you? What is the purpose of you doing that?
Because the purpose is irrelevant to the
purpose of using a horizontal angle is for triangulation, so you can triangulate your point and your positions and do that multiple times. Right, from different positions and check again from other mountains and triangulate all of the positions. And eventually, you will get a more exact reading. Right, that's why you do triangulation in the horizontal plane. I'm asking you, what would be the purpose you can imagine that you would want to measure a vertical angle?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll even it's irrelevant, but I will answer. So the purpose would be to measure the deviation from quote unquote eye level of that theodolite.
But you'd already have the elevation of the mountain you're on and the elevation of the mountain you're looking at, right?
Basically,
and the distance in between.
To a certain extent, but I want to see the
what
deviation.
Would be the purpose of you doing that then?
Establishing a flat or a spherical Earth. That would be the purpose.
You wouldn't do that from a mountaintop with a theodolite. It's a
See,
thing.
and now that
Useless.
hold on, now that you know the reason and it opposes your worldview,
No,
now
it's
that's the
because you
reason why you
wouldn't
don't
do
do it
that.
vertically. That's what you waited for. You waited for the purpose
No,
to change
don't do it.
to change the equipment range, to change what the equipment is capable of. You had to know why I wanted to measure it. That has nothing
I'm
to do
saying
with the equipment.
Nobody
that you use.
does that. I was asking
Okay,
you
hold up,
why you would
Biodual.
want
Let's
to
say
do
we
that.
did this, all right, and we have a 3-degree altitude, like 3-degree angle to the mountaintop in front of you. What are you gonna do with that?
Oh yeah, so I would obviously model a flat Earth and a spherical Earth, and I would make particular assumptions of what we would expect to see at those elevations.
Even though you just claimed a little while ago there's no assumptions in what you're doing, you just admitted there was, so he was right.
The measurements make no assumptions. The measurements
Okay, well-
themselves make no assumptions.
No, they're useless
Like we just
completely
said.
by themselves. You're right. The measurements themselves are just measurements, but you literally
Beautiful.
cannot do anything useful with them at all, even a little bit, until you make an assumption. That's correct.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll assume both. That's fine. I'll assume a sphere model and I'll assume a flat model. That's fine.
You know,
So what does it help?
Can you-
Let's say it's
would
3
you-
degrees. What
The assumption
what are you
is
gonna do with it?
optical drop is physical drop.
Would you not, when you were modeling it, would you not model a horizontal distance between the two mountains and also the elevation height of both of said mountains?
Oh, of
when
course
you were
I'd model that.
modeling it.
Yeah, in
Well,
both of them.
That's your model then. That's your reality model. So where's the other model going to come from?
Right.
Yeah,
so I'm
that
gonna
model will
have. There's
show
gonna be
it's
2 models.
3 degrees.
There's gonna be 2 models. based on
What
known
happens on the other model? You've already got a horizontal distance and 2 vertical elevation heights.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's fine. So what I would expect is there would be the same distances on each model and then the same elevations. The only difference will be the curvature involved or non-curvature.
Would you curve the horizontal?
Shake and add the
I
curve.
would curve the surface of
Add
this
some
model.
water.
You curve the
bake.
horizontal distance between the two.
Yeah, that would increase the distance, wouldn't it?
No, it would
shorten
appear to shorten it, but it would still
so
be the
you're
same
gonna
because it's
angle the
curved.
mountains outwards a little bit.
Yeah, of course. You'd have to. Yeah.
Wouldn't that drop the elevation of the mountain?
No, the elevation stays the same.
You curve it out. You know, you're stood on top of one of the mountains, and you're just going to
No, I
curve
don't-
the other. You're going to curve that horizontal line down a bit.
Well, that's why I've never called it a horizontal line. I'm just calling it the surface.
It
of the
is a
top.
horizontal distance. That's how trigonometry works. That's when you triangulate, when you actually use the tool for triangulating your positions, like they actually do. Right? They end up with a horizontal distance between the two.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't get into the definitional
horizontal
games.
distance, Bio.
It's not
and you're taking these
definition.
mountains
It's a
and
definitional
you're-
game. I don't get into those.
Hold up.
I don't
Hold up.
get
Reality.
into
So,
definition.
let's say you wrap it around a ball, right? These mountains are going to be angled a little bit out from each other.
Right, they would be,
Before
yeah.
they were standing straight, now they're angled a little outwards.
Right.
The distance between those mountain peaks is going to increase because of that. Maybe the distance
That
on
is
the
true.
floor, on the
That's
ground
true too,
will,
yeah.
But the distance between the mountain peaks will.
Yeah, of course. Like the base, from one base to the other base
So you're
will be an
changing
X
the
amount, and then the
distance.
peak to the peak would be X plus some on a spherical Earth. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to do trigonometry, you got to have a horizontal baseline and a vertical, right? A vertical elevation.
Yeah, that's
Where's your
fine.
Curve.
Oh, within the curve,
Oh, that's
you would
fine?
just do the
On
Earth,
your
Earth
model
curve
or in
calculator.
reality?
You would do the Earth curve calculator, and then you'd have the obstructed amount, and then you can remove that, and now you have your horizontal amount and your vertical. Yeah.
Wow.
So you've already
make
got a
Western curve.
horizontal distance, and you're just going to increase it.
No, the horizontal. When you do the trigonometry, you're not going to increase it. It's going to be the same amount, but
But
it's
when
still
you
to
wrap
the
it around
base.
the ball, it will increase at the mountain peaks.
Yeah, at the peaks. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's where you measure the That's what you do your triangulation
Right,
from
right.
peak
He
to
doesn't
peak.
get it. He doesn't get it.
This is what's going to be different. That's what I'm saying. So on a flat Earth, those distances will be the same. You don't have to adjust for anything. So it should be really easy
You
to see
climb
what
to
we
the
would
top
expect.
of a mountain. You're apparently you're not on a flat Earth if you're climbing to the top of a mountain, looking at another mountain.
No, flat Earth is fine because the flat Earth denotes level, not no elevation change. I have no
Yeah,
problem with that.
horizontal. Yeah, level is horizontal, right? And all your horizontal distances that you're going to do, you're going to calculating
Right. See,
trigonometry.
I don't do the definitional game because I call them distances.
It's not
and if you want
we are
to call
being
them,
exact
if you want
with our
if you
words
want to
here.
call them, if you want to call them horizontal distances, that's fine. I'm going to call them distances. And if you have a problem with that, that's when I don't partake in that game.
Oh,
It's
you
a
want to play
curved
the
distance.
assumption game? The assumption game, right?
No, I'm very clear on what I assume. And if I assume anything for
but
one,
you don't want to follow
if I assume
definition.
anything for one, I'll assume the same for the other.
How can
Well,
you not
we
be
talking
clear
exact?
without clear definitions?
So you'll have useless answers twice. Congratulations.
Yeah, in your opinion, sure.
No, you made assumptions. Therefore, it's useless. It doesn't help anybody.
I'm making
find what's
assumptions on
real.
both sides.
It doesn't matter. If you're making an assumption, then you can't know that it's true. It's an assumption.
That's why you test it. That's why you get the real measurements and you test it against
It
this.
won't
This is
help when
exactly
you're
what a
making
hypothesis is. A
Your
hypothesis
test
is a
results
guess
are
at
entirely
something.
null and void if you're making the
No,
assumptions.
no, that's false because a hypothesis
not
is
false.
exactly what a guess is. Your hypothesis is you're guessing at what something is, and then you
We're not
test it.
interested in your
it's
guesses.
horizontal.
We're not interested.
No, I know you're not
The
interested in
model's
doing
dead,
science. That's
dude.
fine. That's
We're
fine.
not interested in your guesses.
No wonder
Science
Coach
isn't
said retired.
guessing.
Yeah,
That's a
science is
lie. You've
guessing.
been tricked,
Science is
buddy.
guessing and
If
then
you think that
testing.
science is
This
guessing,
is
you've
this
been
is
tricked.
geometry.
Science
This
is
isn't
guessing and then
science, dude.
testing. Bob, science is guessing and then testing
No,
your
it is
guess.
not.
This-
Yes,
Science
it
is
is.
not guessing. You've been lied to.
Yes, it is. Your
You've been tricked.
hypothesis is a guess, then you
You've
test
been
it.
tricked.
Okay, I'm not going to repeat it
This
anymore.
isn't
Everyone
a
knows.
hypothesis.
Good.
This
That's
isn't
stupidity.
science.
Science is not guessing.
So it's not science what you're doing?
Guessing is not science.
If it's not science, then I have no
Your-
interest, then we should drop the
Your
conversation. Right?
pseudoscience is
Fantastic.
inductive. Your pseudoscience is
We already
inductive
know you don't
reasoning.
have
It's
interest
not
in real
deductive.
science.
It's not real science.
This isn't
Oh yeah,
science.
in your opinion, that's fine. It's not real science when it
No,
proves
it's
the globe.
guesswork.
You're right. You're right.
No. This isn't science. This is geometry we're talking
Oh no, I would
about.
still call it science.
Practical
It's not.
surveying
It's not science at all.
geometry.
Yeah, I would call it science. That's fine.
It's not.
Hey,
You're wrong.
you guys don't miss what Aaron said. Aaron, say it again. It was really good. Aaron. Okay, Aaron said he's confusing, or he's assuming that seeing something drop is the result of physical drop as opposed to optical.
Of course
How
he
do you
is.
know it's not
Yeah.
optical?
No, yeah,
I
that's a
said
really good
that
question.
a
Of
while
course. Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, of course. That's a really good question.
Do you have an
there
answer?
go. Have fun.
No,
Yeah, I
I'd have to
said
see
that-
specific examples. You obviously know my go-to.
You don't
would be-
need
but
specific
to make
examples.
a clear. Yeah, well, I would need specific examples to say what
You
what I
are
think it would
asserting
be.
to us that when we see something drop, you've said it multiple times, that is due to Earth curvature.
I would say if something's obstructed by the horizon, that is physical drop. That's what I would call it.
What horizon?
Have you seen any of my footage?
No, again, I don't watch
No.
YouTube shit.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
clueless.
mine's not YouTube shit. Just saying.
It's YouTube gold.
It's
Right.
all
baby.
it's all YouTube shit. All of it.
Oh, then why are you here?
Real world observations are
YouTube?
YouTube shit, I guess, right?
I mean, in general, it's
Yeah.
all YouTube shit. There's real questions and real interesting things that occur, but someone's interpretation of something in the form of a video, yeah, it's YouTube
We're not
shit.
talking about interpretations. We're talking about observations.
Yeah,
That's
like
why I said
sound.
observations.
Or that
Yeah, it's fine,
PBS
and I'd have to
show.
see
Is
the
that
observation,
real
yeah.
shit?
So you don't
But
really
I
know
would
what
say
you're talking
sounds-
about.
But I would say if
Yeah.
something is obstructed by the horizon, that is physical drop.
No, then you don't know what you're talking about. Because that's just
That's
flat
not in your
out
opinion.
not true.
Yeah, in your
You're talking
opinion,
about
that's fine.
sound
No,
like
it's not
video.
my opinion.
Sound like video.
It's been substantiated over and over and over again. You cannot, just because you see something obstructed in the distance, you can't just say that's curvature. You can't. There's too many other
Not 100%
phenomena.
of the time, no.
If
No,
he's-
no.
If he's not going to accept any form of
Refraction
video
can have
as-
an effect on it,
as
of
an
course.
observation, that means that he's literally in his entire life never seen a single thing to back up the concept of a globe because he doesn't accept videos as an observation.
No,
That's
so my
That's
real
totally
world
okay.
my real world experience on F-15s working on the avionics and electronic equipment.
Yeah, you've never seen a
when
globe.
I yes I did. When you
No, you
look at the
didn't.
HUD, when you look
You
at the
never
HUD.
saw it.
Hold on, Bob, I'm going to explain it. When you look at the HUD and the HUD is straight and level and you can see that with the 0 degree deviation pitch yaw and roll, then you see the horizon measurably different from eye level at different altitudes. That'll be the effective
So
curvature.
while
That's
you
my
were
number
flying,
one.
you got out and measured it?
Where's
No, no,
the
no.
HUD on the screen?
Hold
No,
on.
there- you
Why
have a
would
HUD
you think
text.
that it would
Oh,
remain at eye
so
level?
a
First of all,
screen, just like a video, which was showing
Because
you
a
something, which you
flat
don't
a flat
take
Earth would
as
did
No.
observation, which means you
Says
have to
says who?
horizon.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Says
things.
who? Says who? Biodual. Why would it? Why
you would
would the
never-
horizon remain at eye level on a flat Earth?
Says me.
Why?
Says me.
Why? Why?
So you're wrong.
So I'm going to explain
You're
it.
wrong. You go
at
Two things.
Hold on, guys.
I mean, I could.
Shit. Hold on.
Ground to go up with you.
So there's
Hold on.
two things. There's two things with the flat Earth and what I would expect to see with the flat Earth. I would expect to never see a crisp horizon. I could see a horizon, but everything would be fading due to the atmosphere at particular distances. But two, I would expect to see the horizon always rising to my eye level. And because it's flat, you will always have more land to approach your eye level. So there's no reason that it should ever deviate from eye level.
Your assumptions are shit.
You've made zero observations.
In your opinion, yeah.
In reality.
Okay, I'm sorry. In the past 3
He
years,
might as well be a preschooler.
Yeah,
What's the point?
so he can see forever.
I know
In
you
the
guys aren't
past-
addressing the content. You're addressing my character.
No,
and me as a
I'm
person
addressing-
because you have
no,
no
no,
argument.
When I call your assumption shit, that's a fact.
Content there.
That's fine. In your opinion, you think
No,
it's
not my opinion. That's reality. Your assumptions are shit.
Okay, in your opinion, that's fine.
Can you guys not hear me?
Yeah, Ether, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So, how many observations have you done in the past 3 years where you've gone out and watched a particular observation over a period of a day at different intervals repeatedly over the past 3 years? How often have you done that?
Oh, I haven't. No.
Okay, so this is not a character slur, okay? You have no experience with observing the way the horizon will appear closer to you, farther away from you. It'll change its elevation in front of you in a matter of minutes and an hour. Okay, so you've made no observations whereby you can have any standing to say what you think you should see when you
Beautiful.
haven't even gone out to see.
Beautiful. Have you made any
Rocket.
observations above 20,000 feet in elevation or altitude?
Okay.
No.
Are you
So
willing-
you
hold
have
on, are you
no
willing-
idea
No,
what
no.
happens
Are you
at
willing-
elevation. See, I can sound condescending too. Yeah.
I'm not going to be condescending to you. Are you willing then to throw
You
out
always
all
sound
of
condescending,
these...
Biodual.
Okay, are you willing to throw out all of these observations then at ground level where there's declared curvature?
No, I wouldn't throw out any observation, but I think we can make distinctions between what's a shit photograph and what's a clear photograph.
Do you understand the difference between masturbating to Playboy and having sex with your wife?
Go ahead. Here's a joke that I'm going to
Okay, hold
dismiss right when you say it.
That's a great analogy.
Okay, listen. Okay, you're comparing two different events. You're comparing something that happens at ground level, and you're contrasting it with something you want to put yourself up at 24,000 feet. Is that what you said?
Right, that's my
24,000
experience. Your experience is at ground level. My experience is in the air.
No.
I can
I've
only
had
speak for my experience, right?
I have had experience at 24,000 feet. Okay, but don't misunderstand me. You are drawing a false equivalency. Those are not going to give you the same results, bro. And if you think that
Right.
they are,
I agree.
you don't belong in this
No,
conversation.
I agree.
Then
They
why'd
will
you
be
bring it up?
vastly
Do you think
because hold
you
on,
can see
I will give
forever
you.
at
I will say why.
24,000 feet?
I will
Do
say
you think
why.
you can see forever at
I will say
24,000
why I
feet?
brought up the elevation.
Do you
and-
think you
hold
can
on,
see
Cleary.
forever at
You know I'm not going to
24,000
answer you.
feet?
So Ether,
Yeah, no.
the reason why I brought it up at altitude is because, and I'm sure you can agree, the higher you go with elevation, the less refraction that will distort your image. Wouldn't you agree with that
You can
basic
see
principle?
forever at 24,000 feet.
Oh, hold on.
Do you think you can see
I have not
forever?
made those. I have not made those observations, so I understand conceptually. I understand the concept of what you're asserting, but I have not made observations to say, like, I haven't sat at 24,000 feet at 8 o'clock in the morning and shot for an hour, gone back at noon, shot for an hour, gone back at afternoon,
I get
shot
that.
for an hour.
No, I get what you're saying.
Okay, so,
No, I respect that answer. You don't have firsthand experience, so you don't want to say. I 100% respect that answer. And it's not like a dig or anything. I would make the
Yeah.
same comment about something. But
We don't
yeah,
have
I
first-hand
appreciate that.
experience of unicorns either.
Yeah, I don't speak to unicorns though.
How far do you think you can see when you're at 24,000 feet?
Oh, at 24,000? I'm not sure. I would probably say 150, 200 miles, but I
So
really
you have
don't know. Total guess.
a limited distance to the land, right?
Yes, due to the curvature. Yes.
No, you just can't see that far, right?
Well, you
can't
can see the crisp.
forever.
You can see a crisp horizon.
You
Okay,
can't
I
see
would
the plane
love
extending out
for
forever.
you
Yeah,
to
but we know we can
show-
at least see
I
272
would-
miles, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of what the moon, star, and sun is, we can see 272 miles according to the world record. So we should be able to see 272 miles without being on a mountain, seeing another mountain. We should be able to see at least that far.
Without being on a mountain,
most
you
of the
think
time.
sea level you should be able to see 272 miles, Baudo?
There's.
You don't think the air's thicker
Standing
at
on
the ground
we're
level?
standing on the shore of the ocean. Let's say the west coast of the United States. How far
No,
you think
I
you should be able to
understand.
see on a flat Earth? You think you should see Japan or
I don't
Hawaii
know.
or what?
I would say a lot further than we do.
How far? Give me a
shit
number.
ton further.
Give me a number.
I would say at least at sea level, looking across, I would say at least 80 to 100 miles.
You're a
at
retard.
least.
You are an absolute retard.
I know.
Do you know what turbidity is? Do you know what atmospheric turbidity is?
No, of course I do.
Have you ever been in a fog bank?
I've been in a number of weather conditions.
Yeah. So do you think that the atmospheric turbidity might impede your ability to see long distances?
Look, if there's a thunderstorm going on, I'm not going to say 80 to 100 miles.
No, now
We're
you're just
talking about optimal
obfuscating the
conditions,
question.
right? No,
You're
isn't
obfuscating
that
the
real?
question. Do you think
So I have to
atmospheric
assume that we're in a
turbidity will
thunderstorm?
impede your ability to see long distances?
So are you saying, were you
It's a
assuming
yes
that
or
we
no
were in a
question. It's a
thunderstorm?
very simple
No.
question.
Were you assuming that we were in
It's
a
a very
thunderstorm or
simple
optimal
question.
conditions?
Do you think atmospheric turbidity would impede your ability to see long
I've
distances?
already said
Yes
it
or
3
no?
times. Of course. Of course.
Thank you. Then why
That's
do you
why
think we would be
when
able
I
to
said
see
80 to
100, 80 to 100 feet? How did you calculate that?
100. I didn't calculate.
Or miles?
Someone asked my opinion. You asked my opinion.
Why
So I
why
gave
is
you
that
my
your opinion? Why is that the number that you came up with? Have you ever been able to see 80 to 100 miles at sea level?
At sea level, no, because Earth curves.
He always goes back to
He
that.
doesn't know shit except for the Earth is a ball.
We can see mountains, especially the Hawaii observations. You don't have to go that high up in elevation to see mountains 100 miles away. That's why I'm saying about probably 80 to 100 miles. Shouldn't be difficult. Shouldn't be.
Uh-huh.
That's because you've got a different condition in the medium through which you're looking.
No, 100%. I agree. But the context
it's
of
the
the context of this was I understood it as optimal conditions, 80 to 100 miles. Now, again, if you're in a snowstorm, obviously I'm not going to say 80 to 100 miles.
That's a false equivalency. We're not talking about snowstorms.
Oh, I thought we were talking about atmospheric conditions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, atmospheric conditions that are for long distance observations, not limiting your vision to a quarter mile away. That's not what we're
You know,
talking
your vision is at a limited angle when you're on the ground. You don't have a full vertical spectrum. You can't see below the ground. But when you get up to 24,000 feet, you can see a lot more. You
Because of
you
your
don't
Earth
have a
curves,
limited
of course.
angle. No, it's not because of the Earth curves. That's ridiculous. You have no evidence for that statement. You just say
I have
it because
plenty of evidence.
you're brainwashed. Go ahead. One, give me.
No, I already gave you the deviation from eye level for planes. That's my number one, just because I have the experience with it.
Step 1 for biodual. Earth is a ball.
Okay, I have a question. I have a question for you, Bio. How did you eliminate atmospheric conditions for that drop from that deviation?
So I didn't eliminate. What is done with that particular situation is minimize, and I guess you could say eliminate the extreme refractions, and then you minimize refraction as a whole.
How did you eliminate it?
You raise an elevation and get to a medium that's less dense.
Okay, it seems to escape your understanding that when you raise in elevation and you increase your distance, you're simply changing the way the density of the atmosphere affects your ability to see farther. So if you're low down on the ground, you are going to have a limited view, a limited angle closer to you. So if you raise an elevation, you're just extending that limited angle a little bit farther. It's still going to be the same effect, just farther away from you.
That's way too advanced for him.
Increasing your vertical angle. Yeah.
No, that's pretty false, especially when you look at the Chicago
That's false.
skyline.
Oh my god!
When you look at the Chicago skyline and you're seeing to the horizon,
At sea level.
about 3 miles, give or take, whatever, and you can still see the skyline. It's obviously cut off still, but when you raise an elevation, you're not changing the angular size of those buildings. You're just getting away from the obstruction.
Okay, hold on. I did not say.
So it's not an
you're worried about
angular
changing.
change.
No. Okay, you're out of your depth here. Okay, I didn't say anything
More
about
character
angular
attacks.
size. No. That's not a.
What were you talking about with
attack.
angular change then?
I said your viewing angle, not your not angular change. It's your viewing angle.
Right, your viewing angle
You're-
changes the angular size of an object at a distance. So what's
He's
the
just
problem?
jerking us off, Travis. He's not
Right,
a
more
serious
character
person.
Increasing the angle against the deck. You're increasing the angle against the deck.
Correct, and you're changing the angular size of an object when you do that. What's the problem?
Changing the angular size of an object. You get closer, you get farther away. What the hell?
Yeah, that's
We're
another
not-
way to do it.
Okay,
Yeah,
look,
sure.
we're not talking. Okay, look, we're not talking about the angular size.
How do you change the
Size.
angular size of the horizon?
The horizon is a zero angle where everything collapses into nothing. You don't see anything past it. And it's horizontal.
Anyway, Bio, if you're interested, I put a panel in the chat, a 3-image panel that I took in the past week, 3 different days, same observation. So.
Yeah, no, it's really nice. Yeah. I don't object to atmospheric conditions distorting shit. I don't object to that.
Yeah, I'm not talking about
You're
distortion here. I'm
such
talking
an
about
asshole,
the fact
Bravo.
that
Yeah, I know, Brian. You're always on one. You're always emotional when it comes to me. I don't know why. I've always
You
treated
just
pretty
irritate
nicely.
me. You just get under my fucking skin because I know what you're fucking doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, some more character attacks. It's cool.
Yeah, just character
Nah.
attacks.
I
Yeah.
don't think I've been shitty to you.
Pretend
Daniel,
you're
have I?
so fucking innocent. It's
Oh
disgusting.
no, I'm not. I call people retarded. Don Geo knows I've called him retarded. Me and Geo got into it for a second. Who else? Anybody else here? Rakia? I've shit on Rakia kind of.
There's
SC,
nothing
I shit
wrong
on
with
him all the
attacking
time.
somebody's
I'm not
character.
innocent.
Their character deserves to be attacked. That's just
The only
I
thing
wouldn't-
I say is retarded. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Go ahead.
I haven't shit on you, Rod. I haven't really addressed you.
No.
Either, really.
So
I'm just one-dimensional to you.
Well, you are, because you only bring up one thing every time.
You're not
Yeah, that's
the
all I
first
need.
globe
Water
to jump in
destroys the globe.
Sure
Yeah.
thing. I guess we didn't think about water. Fuck.
Can you see my screen? This is Travis's
Just
panel.
real quick. Oh yeah, okay, great. Yeah, so what I was just going to say, Bio, is just my panel that Brandon is showing you is not just about distortion, okay? So the notes that are on there are pretty explicit, and it's just there for your consideration.
Right. I understand all that. Who is it? Neil Thomas Young or whatever the fuck his name is. I've had
Andrew
a
Thomas Young.
Yeah, Andrew Thomas Young. Sorry.
You what?
I've had a good read with what he has to offer, as well as other examples of shit. I understand. Yeah.
No, you don't understand. My panel doesn't communicate Andrew Thomas Young. It contradicts and challenges. Okay.
I would
the
disagree.
one. Okay, hold on. You can't disagree that my data and my presentations contradict and challenge. You might disagree with what my conclusions are, but my intention in presenting this information is to challenge and contradict Andrew Thomas Young and the science that he represents. Okay? So one of the things that has come out of my research that I continually put forward right now is that mirages, according to Andrew Thomas Young, are stretched vertically. Okay? I've done numerous shows where I've gone over this and broken down images and of his and mine. Mirages are not vertical images. They extend over the x-axis. That is not modern science. No one is saying that. And that is one of my major challenges to this model. So all I'm saying with what Brandon's got there right now, just look at the data that is on the picture and consider the ramifications of what my claims are. That's all.
Yeah, it looks like horizontal reflections that extend into the depth axis, right?
Yeah, you just gave me chills, Cleary. Don't do that.
Sounds like you guys are on the level.
I've got a super chat from Godzilla37. It's been a while. Hey, shut the fuck up. He's reading super chats. He says he screwed the timing up, and then I screwed the timing up even worse. But thank you, Godzilla. Appreciate it. So, Biodual, would you agree that there are phenomena that can create a false horizon?
Sure. Yeah, I have no problem with that.
So how do you tell the difference between a false horizon and a real horizon, a geometric horizon?
Well, I would never say geometric horizon.
All horizons are geometric.
No, they're not. So how would you tell between a false horizon and an apparent horizon? I would probably just lump them all together as the same. They're all still horizons. Or they're all still apparent horizons.
So you really can't tell much by the horizon then, right?
From an apparent horizon, no. No, not really.
So how come earlier you were talking about some crisp horizon and being able to determine the shape of the Earth based on a crisp horizon? What did you mean by that?
Oh, so what I would expect with the flat Earth under optimal conditions, not when it's snowing and it's all fucked up in the air, just optimal conditions, what I would expect is never seeing a horizon on a flat Earth, but I would see the land fading out as it increases in distance due to adding atmosphere between you and that land.
Would these phenomena that take place on in reality, would those not exist on a flat Earth? Would those not be there to create false horizons, just as they do in reality?
Yeah, sure, that's fine.
Okay,
yeah,
then we really can't tell anything by the horizon, then, can we? Biodual, back to that.
That's why I said under optimal conditions.
What are optimal conditions?
Where the atmosphere isn't fucking everything up.
And how do you determine if the atmosphere is fucking everything up or not?
Right. Yeah.
Hold on, Travis.
Is that not clear? Where you can see something and it's not fuzzy at a great distance, or you see something at a great distance and it's reflecting what you would expect to see in reality if you were up close with it?
Okay, so I have a question. What now? If you look at my panel, I don't know if Brandon's still sharing it. Okay, the middle image is going to give you a shore-to-shore observation 9 miles away, and the conditions of the medium are going to present it in a distorted fashion. There's no mirage, but the images are, as we would say, fuzzy. Okay. Now, if I have that same observation on a different day with absolutely pristine, and I can show you another picture of the same observation where it's absolutely crisp and clear, right? So I've got a 9 mile observation with no obstruction, shore to shore. That's the middle image that you're looking at there. The left and the right image have limited distance. What's creating the limit to that distance?
What do you see? I don't know what you mean. I'm looking at it right now, and I see what you're saying. With the left one and the right one have what appears to be clear horizons. The middle one looks like a straight shot. Looks like a straight shot shore to shore. I don't agree it is, but that's what it looks like the water is doing. Is that what you're kind of saying?
I'm asking you what creates the limit to the water on the left and the right image.
The left one for sure, refraction maybe looks like a mirage where it's reflecting. The right one, I'm not sure. The right one's pretty clear actually.
This guy doesn't know shit.
Yeah.
So,
hold on, just real quick.
Hold on
I'm
second.
sorry, James.
Data.
Just let me finish. Just let me finish, bro. The left image and the right image both have inferior mirages. Okay? Both of those inferior mirages create the limit to the water that you would refer to as the horizon. So the only reason why we can't see the far distant shoreline with all of the houses like you can in the middle image is because of the conditions of the medium.
You can't even see it in the middle image.
Okay.
You can clearly see on the right side. You can clearly see on the right side. Under the second black box is all that space. And it's clearly not a reflection. It's just space. But you don't see the same thing on the middle picture.
Okay.
So how do you claim you can see shore to shore?
There's definitely a reflection on this one.
Okay, I'm showing you one panel in isolation. I don't have the other panels with me right now to upload for Brandon to show you. But I have shore to shore with crisper, clear images of those same houses that I've drawn boxes around and I've marked the tree line so that you can see everything is. You can match it up in terms of what it looks like visually. You're looking at the same observation 9 miles away. One has a limit to your distance. The other one does not. You can clearly see that the water in the middle image extends farther into the distance. So whether or not you want to quibble about if you can distinguish between one house or another, that's not the point. The point is the middle image shows you a farther aquatic distance.
As far as we could tell, sure. I'd love to get a high-res picture, or at least a high-res of this particular picture, and then...
Are you saying that the medium you're looking through is never constant? Therefore, there's no mathematical equation that would be as such?
No, we
constant?
have variable changes within formulas. But no, I'm not saying that it's constant at all. I'm not sure where the confusion is, but I've
yeah, but
never
it
said
seems
that.
like the mathematics for the ball is constant.
It's
But yet
you could say.
Well, hold on. But the limit as to the distance we can see, that is never constant. One
Right,
day
so
it's shorter.
You could find
One
whatever
day
straw
you
man
can
you'd like,
see-
but the
one
formulas
day you
aren't
can see
constant.
longer, but yet the mathematics is constant.
They're not, though. That's your straw man to fight, not anyone else's.
We're well aware that your model is unfalsifiable, and you can use refraction to turn any observation into a ball. We understand that.
So as soon as you remove the atmosphere, then we can falsify it. But until
Thanks,
then,
Brandon.
we're always going to have refraction.
Well, if it's unfalsifiable, then it can't be used as evidence. Sorry.
There are particular
Looking
parts
at
of
the
it.
horizon was the only way we had of determining the Earth, the shape of the Earth, then you might be right. But of course, there are many, many other ways.
Right.
Yeah, we have geometry, don't we, Jem?
Well, it's not even
Welcome,
that,
Jem.
It's when the
Good evening,
picture
all.
matches the ball math. That's when you get the real picture. There's no refraction then.
Well, it's pretty obviously
When
it's
the
pretty
picture
obvious to see a
matches
fucked
the
up
ball
picture of
Earth,
something, and then you can see a clear
then it's
picture
a
of something.
real picture with no refraction.
They're both pictures on a sphere Earth, but one is
Right.
going to show you something closer to reality.
No, there's no picture without refraction.
Right, but you can
None at
clearly
all.
tell when something is extreme and when something is minimal, right? Can we agree to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. So when one picture is showing something that's upside down, fucked
So-
up,
so
bent
when
and
the
curved,
picture's
and then the other
showing the
picture shows
ball
pretty
back-
accurate one-to-one
All right,
representation
hold on.
of
I
the
have
thing,
a question just real
then we
quick.
could determine which picture
Yeah, but
is
what
a
I'm
good
saying
picture of
is-
reality.
I have a question real
But-
quick.
Yeah, you just agreed with what I'm saying, though. That's the problem. You literally agreed that when the math of the picture fits the ball, then there's no refraction. That's
No, all
perfect. That's the
pictures
way the
fit
math
the
should
math
be.
of a ball because the
But yet
ball also
most
includes
pictures
formulas for
never
refraction.
match the ball.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
the
always
problem
do.
with
You just
that-
need to
the
know the
problem with that
particular
bio
variables to
duel-
get it exact.
The problem with that is you guys never verify your math. You just do your equation and then you look at a picture and say equal sign, but you never verify the math. Now, I have a question
That's
real quick
pretty
on that.
false.
It's not pretty false. How
That's
many okay, no, I'm going to tell you why. How many of anyone who's claimed that a photograph shows the curvature of the Earth actually went out to where that horizon apparently was to verify that it was even remotely close to the distance their math said? Anybody? No, nobody. So yes, I was correct. Now, going back to the panel.
Hold on. No, flip that around. When's a flat earther done that?
No. You don't get to reverse the burden.
There we go. Okay. So what?
No, my friend. Listen very carefully. I've made it clear that in order for us to do that, it would take then by all means start a GoFundMe for us. So that
Hold
we
on, guys. My
get
computer's puking on something.
out on the water.
I'm trying to
I
figure
have
out
no
what it is.
qualms. I have no qualms with reality.
Hold on. Hold on.
So you need to put
We
forth
are
the
not
effort.
making claims. Hold on.
Do none of
We're
that
not.
shit.
We're okay, James. Then don't. You don't need to say anything, James. Okay, just don't do
All
it.
you
Then.
need is two lights.
James,
Just two lights.
we're talking about looking at the horizon, okay, and measuring the distance to that.
Yeah.
Now, BioDuo.
Two lights.
Okay, listen. My claims don't depend on the position and distance to the horizon. I don't make claims that depend on the position and the distance to the horizon. So I don't bear that burden. However, I do understand, at the interest of science, that that would be something that I would include in my research. However, because you guys make claims about this is the distance to the horizon because this is exactly how much is being cut off on this ship or this wind turbine, you haven't verified a variable that you are making a claim about. Do you understand the difference?
Are you talking
of course.
to me?
Of course, I understand.
Yeah, we don't need to. You do. That's the difference.
No, Jem, you don't belong in this conversation. Okay, I'm talking about.
Okay.
First of all,
I'll just,
now the last thing.
you were talking
about.
Damn.
I was talking.
When you said you guys.
I don't get okay, listen very carefully.
Okay, no, I understand.
I wasn't.
You don't really know how to use
I
that language.
wasn't
Okay, that's
talking to you. See that? See how that works?
Okay, but you see how you said
now
you
you've
guys.
Now you've
You
inserted
guys,
yourself.
which
Jem,
meant you were talking to
Jem,
a group
it's
of
okay.
people.
Jem,
And I assumed,
just raise your hand.
assumed I was included
Just
in
raise-
that group of people.
No, just raise your hand when you want to speak, Jem. We'll call on you. It's okay.
Well, you
It's
didn't.
okay.
Nobody else is
what you did
raising
to me,
their
right,
hand.
Data?
How does raising
You
your
literally
hand
told me to
work in a
shut up.
Discord server?
Okay, Jem, I was being facetious. Okay, so
Okay.
going back
Go ahead.
to bio, just real quick. You said extreme refraction, right?
Hey, wait. Don't let Jim. Yeah. I'm
Okay,
sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
James. Bio, are you still there, man?
Yeah, of course I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Now I know that you don't watch YouTube shit, so
Alright,
you won't
hopefully I
understand
fixed whatever that
or
was.
know what I'm talking about when I say what I've said on my channel. Okay.
It's possible.
But I don't use the word to describe refraction clear to you. And then if there's recession into the background and it's blurry and you can't see it, that's extreme as well. So the point that we're trying to put across to you is you don't have quantifications for those extremities. You just say,
There
show
are
me a day. No, you
I
don't.
I honestly don't know where this is going. This sounds super boring. I can't imagine anyone's enjoying
Well, then what are you
you
doing
listing off what your personal feelings are about the relative nature of the atmosphere.
Pretty sure I didn't
can't
say I
imagine
feel.
anyone's enjoying this.
Pretty sure I
Now
feel
it's
that
your
come out of my
feelings
mouth.
about space.
Now, the ground is made up of grass and dirt, and sometimes there's pipes under it. That's what it sounded like, man. Don't insult the whole room by explaining what you feel is relatively more extreme or less.
Listen,
and
just
different parts
because
of
I was
refraction.
talking
No one
over
gives
your
a
head
fuck,
and you
man.
couldn't understand, just because
Couldn't
you
understand
couldn't
what? I've had
understand
this
the
conversation
simplicity.
many times before.
Okay, yeah, you're projecting your frustration because you don't get it onto us. Don't do that.
That's fine, man. I can just read the room. That's fine.
Well, I
You
can
could read the
project a little
room.
bit.
Let's take a poll. Let's take a poll.
Let's take a poll. How many times James interrupted you?
I can prove him wrong, guys. Hold on. You can project a little bit on ballers, right? Just a little bit. Now, I agree with what you're saying, but you can project a little bit because just the idea of space, because it comes from the imagination, nobody's idea of space is the same.
What are you
So
going to space for?
We can project on Globers a little.
Where did this come from?
Your whole idea of space is imagined. That's why nobody imagines the same space.
Yeah, we live in a Euclidean 3 space.
Yeah, you
That's
guys are all
reality.
in a imaginary la la land. So we can project. You said no, don't project. I was just gonna jump in and say we can do it a little bit.
Who said don't project? Because I didn't.
The guy talking to Data.
Yeah, I never said not to project. Ether made the assumption that I was projecting.
Yeah, you did. That's the whole reason I said that.
No, it sounds like you weren't listening at all. So again,
But it
I
never
will
came to
relinquish the
my
mic
mind.
because it's boring as fuck, and you're not listening. So.
No, I wasn't.
To hear a drastic change of conversation topics submitted. I got one in mind.
It wasn't a conversation topic changed. He claimed flat earthers for projection. That's all global matters do. And you can and then he said that he never said it. But you
Yeah, here
can
we go.
rewind
I
it.
appeal to the rest of the
That's
room.
all
I
right.
appeal to the rest of the room. Did I ever say?
Who was it
stop
saying that they had
Just now you
a?
did. Yep. Yeah, I'm just saying. I heard you say
Okay,
it.
before that,
I don't
did
know.
I?
Probably, maybe. Who knows?
Who was it that said they had a change in topic? I'd be interested in hearing more about that because, to be quite frank with you, I'm tired of hearing Bowdul's voice. I got to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was me. That's the only reason I
Not
I
very
said
welcoming, is it, Brandon?
No,
I
it's
don't mean
not.
to interrupt
Come on,
anything.
Jim. This guy sits in
shut
here
up,
and slickly, slicker than slick, insults us constantly. It's annoying as fuck. Okay, don't tell me to be
I think
nice.
he's giving you guys a taste of your own medicine. It's good. To
Whatever.
I don't want to
Whatever.
interrupt.
Is that the real? Is
Are
that
you
the real
kidding me,
Jim
dude?
Panda? Is that you,
The
Jim?
one-
The
the
real
one
Jim
and
Panda
only,
from
James.
like 5 years ago?
Yep, the one and only.
That's you?
That's me.
I got one question for you, and it's one that you probably don't expect.
All right, but only if
Have
Brandon
you still
says
not
okay.
figured it out?
Oh yeah, I've
You
figured it
still,
out.
it's been 5 years, Jim.
Yeah.
Have you still not figured it out? What are you gonna do when you finally figure it out? Sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Well, the thing is, James, what I would say is, in the 5 years that I've been following this, there has been nothing compelling at all that would convince me that the Earth is a different shape to the one that it's generally presented it to be. Not a
What you do is conflate elevation with curvature. Elevation is measurable. Curvature is your fantasy.
So Jim, you've seen the entirety of the Earth, so you can confirm the validity of the images shown?
Well, he never said that. I don't know why you're saying that.
Well, if you can't do that, they could literally sell you anything, and you're just confined within the map.
I mean, I'm not quite sure what you're saying, but images, of course, could be fake. All right.
Yeah, like I can't sell you a Ford Pinto as if it was a Corvette, right? Because
These
you've
days-
seen with your own eyes what these two vehicles look like.
But
so there's no
I
way
don't-
for me to sell you such an idea.
It's all about comfort. He's comfortable. That's all it is.
Yeah, well, everything they sell you about space.
All right.
Well, let him respond, guys. I mean,
you
shit.
just have a conversation about
cannot
Lady Baines. Maybe later I'll butt in at some point.
Let him
They could sell
respond,
you anything,
please.
dude. Dinosaurs. They could sell you anything.
Go ahead, Jim.
Right. Can I respond? So I don't think that personally experiencing something is required to know of its existence or not. And to know
on what
the
you're
nature
buying.
of its existence. I think that
It depends on what you're buying.
Hold on.
I think that we can accept evidence from reliable sources and reputable sources, and from that we can formulate conclusions that include knowledge claims about reality.
I would just say this, Jim. I'll just say this and I'll mute. You're talking about the history of man, like what you know personally, what you know of the history of man. You're talking about man telling you the world you're in. I'll just say that. I'll leave it alone.
Partly that's true, yes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And I think you guys do that too. I think just sitting here listening to Travis, for instance, is that process taking place, right? That's you looking at the evidence of someone that you would consider to be reputable and reliable and considering their evidence and formulating conclusions based upon it. So,
Can I ask a slightly embarrassing
there's
question?
nothing wrong with my process. What I would say is that what I would say is the sources that I believe to be reputable, I would say are more likely to be reputable than the ones that you guys
Like the
trust.
government?
But
Jim?
that's really irrelevant.
Isn't the government your main source of information for space-related data?
No,
Really?
It's not.
Who is
What is
then?
it?
I don't think so.
What is?
Well, for space-related data, or because we were talking about the Earth, right? Are we just talking about space?
Just answer.
Well,
Keyword main.
Well, the various space agencies would be the source of
government
data, right?
And they are.
Right. Go ahead. Go.
Well,
on,
no, I
finish the
just
sentence. Just on
when
it.
I
Just
think
go
about
ahead.
when I
Go
think
ahead
about
and finish
reputable
the sentence.
sources, Jem, the
Let's hear
last thing that I think about.
Hang on. Don't help him out.
Whoa,
Let's hear the end of the
dude.
Let's hear the end of the sentence.
Oh,
He put all that
okay.
lingering on there.
Okay.
Let's hear
Trust
him.
your government, Jim.
What are the space agencies? Go ahead.
At what time period?
Can't finish the sentence. Yeah, exactly. In what time period? So we would
Well,
agree
up
that
until
not all.
recently-
So we would agree then that
Up
not all
until
data.
recently-
Not all data regarding space comes from governments. We would agree that that is true, wouldn't we?
Okay.
Governments
At
or
what point
government
the
contractors.
Private sector's allowed to go up there.
Since you've been honest there, I will concede that it's probably true that most of it has come via a government.
Yep, 100%.
Keyword main.
But I think that governments are not always honest, but I don't think that you should. I don't think that means you should instantly disregard everything because it's a piece of information from a government.
I don't know,
Hey, Joe, I have a
Jem. You know,
question
all
for you. I
the
think
wars
that's
they've
ridiculous.
started and all of the lies they've told over the years, the shit we've caught our CIA doing over here. I mean, when I think of government, I don't associate them with reputable source
Honesty.
at all.
Well, okay, but
Or honesty.
what things have they said that have been truthful over the years?
How do I tell the
Yeah,
difference, though,
who
when they
knows?
lie about such big things?
No, if you can't tell the difference, how do you know they've lied?
Well, because we've caught them
Jim, I got
lying.
one question.
Right. So if you look at the amount of stuff that they have said about all sorts of mundane things, including, you might say, space travel, that it doesn't compare, does it?
I
the
have
times
to
they've
assume
been
that they're
caught
telling
for
the
lying.
truth in any case, don't I?
It would be a tiny,
Because
tiny.
I have
number
no
of
way
times.
of backing up what they're telling me.
Times. It would be a tiny, tiny number of times.
They
in
only lie a
comparison
little bit of the time.
well, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying they don't lie, but I'm saying that if is the fact that they've lied once or twice, in particular circumstances, is that a reason to disregard everything that they say as not true?
Once or twice,
for a
Jem?
fact, when you hang on, nearly there.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're blowing my mind,
When
though.
you know for a fact. I give in. I won't bother.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, please. Any sentence that starts with the one or two times government has lied to us, I want to hear the end of it.
Oh, thank God. Did he stop talking already?
There you go, you see. It's ridiculous.
Come on, guys. Let him finish his sentence. It was really good start.
Can't make a point. Can't formulate a point. Say a couple of sentences. It just has to be shouted down. Is
You're
it
saying trust the
reasonable?
government.
I'll have one more go. Is it reasonable to dismiss everything as a lie when you know that the times that they've lied, the times that you've caught them lying, have been very minimal, and the times that they've said stuff that has turned out to be true is enormous?
I think you're mischaracterizing the history of our relationship with government very badly.
Well, how would you quantify those
I
things
wouldn't
then,
say
Brandon?
that the government's only lied to us one or two times or just a few
Okay, but
times.
okay,
And what's
but you-
more, why
but
would
you
I choose
quantify
to
them.
believe them about something that I have no
What-
opportunity to verify whatsoever? Why would I do that?
Percentage? Because you don't have a reason to believe that they've lied.
Yes, I do. I have lots of reasons. Yeah.
Your default position should not be everyone is always lying to me all of the time.
We're talking about people who will
That's not-
lie us into
That's not a
war.
reasonable. That's not a reasonable position to
They will
hold,
lie us
is it?
into war.
We're on your side on that one.
They will starve hundreds of
down,
thousands of children based on lies. They will bomb countries and kill innocent civilians based on lies. And I'm supposed to trust these people?
And say it's worth it.
That doesn't make any sense, Jim.
Well, then you
They'll
have
also
to
shut down the
dismiss
entire
absolutely
world.
I mean, you got to be thinking to yourself right now, why did I pick
Just
this
don't
side of the
go.
argument? I got to get out of this fucking argument because what you're arguing is
No, I haven't,
ridiculous.
because I think it's totally unreasonable. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and I don't think that you live by this
I do.
either.
I do.
I don't think for a moment that you disregard every single thing your government says as a lie. Not for a moment.
As long if it impacts me, then I disregard it until I can verify it myself. The first thing I think of when the government tells me something, listen, hold on, let me finish. The first thing I think of when the government or the media tells me something is, that's probably a lie, because they've lied so much and so often and about so much.
How do you know? What is your source of information that they lied to you in the past?
My personal first-hand experience.
Okay, how?
Well, I spent a year in Iraq and Baghdad, and that was a complete, unmitigated fucking disaster. Vietnam was a complete, unmitigated disaster, and I've got family who were in Vietnam.
Vietnam. Why do you know about Vietnam?
I'm basing that on people I trust, my family members.
Why do you know about Aristophanes, Jim?
How were they able to get?
Vietnam's far more
position were your family?
Are you defending? Are you defending these wars? And are you trying to state that the government didn't lie us into wars in the Middle East?
No,
Weapons of mass destruction. Ring any bells? Yellow cake uranium.
I won't get a response out.
Well, Jim, it's I gotta point out the obvious things.
We definitely need more examples. Keep going.
Okay, so I've made my point then. Can you concede?
Wants to talk about is
No, I will try and point out the point that I am making, which is the corner that you have painted yourself into, which is, the examples that you've given right here in this conversation that the government has lied to you. You have formulated that conclusion that they have lied to you based on information from the government.
No. Where did you get that out of what I said?
Jim Panda.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Vietnam.
Or how about here's one? How about their?
You don't have relatives. You don't have relatives that we're in a position that could give you an overview of the Vietnam War.
No, I have ones that were fighting on the ground and saw what was actually going on, Jim.
What you know about and that's not an overview of the Vietnam
You don't
War,
need an overview of the entire war. You don't have to work in Central Command to know that you're part of a complete bullshit, dude.
Yeah, you can't just go off the story. You can't go off the story and just act like that, Jim. Because there was politics within the Vietnam War.
Right. Well, how many relatives have you got then? What other lies have you got relatives?
Hey, hold on, Jim. Now, hold on. Let me finish.
You're going to run out of relatives very quickly, aren't you? On this,
it's a very important point.
James, please, man.
Did you have a relative that was at 9/11? Did you have a relative that was at the Kennedy assassination?
Did I bring either of those up as examples? Jim. Why are you obfuscating bringing that stuff up, Jim? You're the one that's in here defending the government, saying that they don't lie that much.
Because you said there were more than 2 examples of the government lying to you. So we've got Iraq and we've got Vietnam. What's another one?
Gulf of Tonkin. I mean, there's freedom of
Gulf of
information.
Tonkin you know about because of information
Jim,
from
I
your
got
government.
one question for you.
Oh, he's put me on the spot. Listen to me. Listen to this, guys. He's put me on the spot to come up with examples of when the government has lied. That is just ridiculous.
Yeah, how about one?
A minute ago, you were telling me I was ridiculous for saying there was only 2 times, and for saying and for believing things that the government say. I'm saying you do it too. That's how you know they've lied to you.
I think that anyone who even responds to you is falling for some sort of trick.
And the Gulf of Tonkin was a perfect example.
What do you know about the Gulf of Tonkin, Joe?
I've been trying to.
I don't have to go back. I don't have to go back 50 years in history to wars. Just hang on. My own government right now will tell me that they're closing regional hospitals and can't afford more ambulance officers because they've got no money to spare. But at the same time, they're wanting to build an entertainment centre. Like how many?
Let's all go to Walmart
right now? Unemployment figures are 5%, but they count somebody who's working 3 hours a week as not unemployed. Like, governments lie to us on big things and mundane things 7 days a week. And if you don't think that's the case, you are delusional.
Oh,
Yeah,
I don't think you've provided you've just provided examples. You've provided an example of
let me give you an example, Jim.
You provided an example
Yes,
of local
I will.
government.
I'll shut him up real quick on this.
You provided an example of local government spending that you didn't agree with, and an example of
government lies, Jim. Government lies. That's what I call an
example. And an example of some regulation on employment where they have to draw a line somewhere, so they draw it at so many hours a week. That isn't a lie. It's public. Everybody knows. Just
be quiet for a second.
The minutes of the meeting. Why don't you just be quiet for a minute?
You keep saying the same thing.
I'm not. The minutes of the meeting.
Go ahead.
The minutes of the meeting where they made that conclusion, they're public. The reasons why they made that decision would be public. That's not a lie in any way.
How about that?
Neither is they're spending on entertainment centers.
How about when they shot up all those soldiers with syphilis and didn't tell them about it for 50 years? Or
hold on, Brandon.
no, just hold on, James. God damn it, hold on.
MK Ultra.
MK Ultra, that's the name of it. Yeah, MK. You've heard of MK Ultra, right?
Which is something you know about because of the government.
So what?
Government information, right?
Yeah, because somebody found a fucking box of files they forgot to burn.
There's a whistleblower.
And because
how about Operation Mockingbird?
Because of the Official Secrets Act, stuff got released, right? After a period of time, stuff became available, and then you knew about
so
it.
What's the point?
So what about lies that were found out of?
What does it matter how we found out about the lie, Jem?
Because it comes from your government.
So the government, it's okay for them to lie to us for 50 years, as long as they eventually tell us the truth on accident.
You don't get it, do you?
Genetic fallacy.
Because you were saying,
mate.
When they tell you
can I answer? Can I respond? Are they got to be drowned out?
You're insane.
Can I make the point?
What about whistleblowers?
Can I make my
the government
point?
Didn't sign off on.
Yeah, Edward Snowden.
Point. I've got to be blotted out. Because, Brandon, it does matter if the information comes from the government. If you are a person who says that you dismiss everything from your government as a lie, do you see what position that leaves you in?
That is some twisted logic, dude.
Oh.
That's not what he
that
said,
means we
Jim.
should trust
He
them.
did say that.
No,
He absolutely
did
say that.
He said everything he can't verify personally. That affects him
I said,
directly.
I assume it. I always assume it's a
He
lie
didn't say any of that. That's
until I
nonsense.
can verify it.
Yeah, he did.
Thank you.
Jim, why do you think history repeats itself?
We need to mute Jem. He's
because
done.
it's human beings, right?
This is childish.
Could
at
it
this
be
point.
because human beings constantly fall for their government that fucking turn on them every time? They fall for the same tricks every time. And it's always the government doing it to them. Funny enough, huh?
Well, I don't really see the world like that. I don't think
Well,
government...
you're trying to have a rational conversation with an irrational person. Haven't you learned
I
this?
mean, what have I said that's irrational?
Yeah, don't be like, come on. We can have a rational
because that we found lies from our government, we should take the positive note that they're not lying because we can find both information from them.
I didn't say that. I didn't say
Your
that.
conclusion from what you're saying is because we found lies from the government and what they claim to be the truth, we should just go with the positive and say, oh, well.
No, not at all.
Is that not what you were saying?
No, not in any way. What you guys are saying is because they've lied, you should dismiss everything they say as a lie.
No,
and then let me finish. And then you
You're wrong.
Let me finish.
You're continuing on a false premise.
And then why did I? Okay, what's wrong with that?
Because that's not our position, Jim.
Exactly.
We don't just default. Stop shouting. We don't just default to their lying. We just don't default to their not lying.
Brilliant. Brilliant. We agree then. So what do we do? What things do we believe from governments and what things do we reject? How do we decide which is which?
Yeah, that was my question to you that I asked you about 20 minutes ago was how do I know when they're lying and when they're not? That's why I assume that they're lying until I can verify it. That seems like a sensible thing to do.
So, and he's just made a massive deal about the fact that you didn't say to do that.
I didn't say always assume that they're lying. I say I assume that they're lying until I can verify it. I don't just say everything that comes from the government is a lie. And I also said something about it if it impacts me.
It was to do with things that directly affect
Do
you.
you bother to go and verify?
Do you guys
You don't bother to go and verify any of it, do you? It's just what happens to come across your path that you can say, well, that happens, that I know that's true, or I know that's not true. But you don't have a policy of verifying the things that your government tells you.
I do actually have a policy of that.
What we
Yeah.
do have, Jim, is a mind which is open when we come across a story or evidence that may contradict a government narrative. Our mind is open to entertain that, whereas many on your side just say, no, fingers in my ears, the government never lied to me. All right, so that's a different mindset that we have.
I'm not saying that.
You're not far short of it.
That's not true. I'm saying that you should consider all of the information, wherever it comes from. Consider what the sources it's from. Consider whether you consider those sources to be reputable, and make decisions based on that.
Right.
And I think that, for instance, when you say the Gulf of Tonkin, what have you done to verify that? You haven't done anything to verify it. Or what was the other? I can't remember.
An internal critique, by the way.
MK Ultra, the other one you mentioned. All of this is stuff that comes from the government as a result, ultimately, of government policy of making that stuff public after a period of time. I know that does. I'm not saying that makes. I'm not saying that absolves them from their lies, but I am saying that is a function of government.
I don't know what point you're trying to make, but my original point was that I don't trust the government.
Dismiss everything just because it's from the government, and your point was that you should.
You should definitely be skeptical about it and not accept it until you can verify it with other sources. Yeah.
Well, I'm skeptical about everything, and verify it with other sources. Yes, I'd agree with that.
Yeah. So then why would I accept what they tell me about?
Telling you they lie, then shouldn't that be enough to doubt it without evidence?
Sorry, say that again. I missed the beginning.
The source itself, the government, admits to you that they lied about something they claimed was true, and they admitted, years down the line that it was a lie, or a whistleblower came out and said it was a lie, and evidence shows that it was indeed a lie, which they claimed was true at the time. Isn't that evidence enough to doubt what they say in the absence of actual evidence of proof of what they're claiming?
I think there are circumstances where it could be if the lie was closely related in some way to some current thing that you wanted to know about, right? If there was a lie in the past that had been revealed in the past, and this related in some way to something that was happening currently, then that would be a reason to disregard it.
I think this boils down to it.
But ultimately, humans lie, right? There's gonna be lies and dishonesty wherever you look.
Yeah. So I think this boils down to a topic that we've come across all the time, which is that the positive claim has the burden of proof. So if the government claims something, they have the burden of proof. Until then, it's not true. If you contend it, the burden of proof is required. If they don't substantiate it, then you dismiss it.
Yeah, not really.
Mic check, what's going on?
That implies that if you decide to disbelieve something...
Oh, thank God, Matrix, save us. Matrix,
then
save
somebody,
us. Matrix,
then,
save us. Matrix.
Start talking, bro.
Yeah, I'm sure the audience just want to hear you saying Matrix save us. I'm sure they'd prefer
save
that.
us, Matrix.
Jim, just say it. You trust the government.
I'm pretty sure the audience is wondering why is
sometimes
it
I do trust the government. Yeah, sometimes I do.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Why sometimes trust them and why sometimes not trust them? I mean, is it something?
It depends.
Is it like a cheating wife?
Depends on what.
Cheating wife? You only believe her sometimes when she's a whore, or not every time? Like, how does that work with the government?
But what do you do? Because now you're arguing again for the thing that I've been told very vociferously you're not arguing for. Because what
Give
you
us
seem
one
to be
moment
saying
you
is
didn't trust
what you
them.
seem to be saying is don't consider anything, just call it, just consider that, just take it all to be lies. Don't
because
weigh
there
anything
is
up.
no such thing as halfway crooks, right? You can't be halfway a virgin.
There
you
you
can't
go.
be halfway in something, right?
So you disregard
either
everything.
or.
So you disregard everything the government says as a lie.
Of course I do. Everything
There
they
you
tell
go.
us, they don't have
There you
no
go.
obligations to
So
tell us any truth.
don't let it be said again that nobody in here is arguing that, because you are.
Yeah. Can you
he said
can you
everything
show
the
me?
government
Can you show me?
says
Can you
is
show me any
claims.
documentation?
Okay, it's not shows.
Hold on,
It's
percentage.
evidence.
Can you show me any documentations which shows that any governmental body is obligated to inform us and or tell us truth?
No.
I'm waiting, Jim Panda.
You know what I would say, Jim?
Well, hold on a minute.
What I would
hold on a
say
minute.
is the only time the government, will tell you the truth is when they.
That's definitely, when he asks me a question, it's definitely time for you to respond.
Doesn't, they will
Go
put
ahead.
spin on it and they will lie because all they care about is getting re-elected.
What's an example of you not trusting the government?
That's a good question.
It could be a while.
You're such a bunch of wankers.
No, seriously, what's the answer to that question?
No, I'm not going to answer it. Fuck you.
Okay, that's a shame. But hey, I just want to say, I do appreciate you coming into the line.
Hey,
and
look,
trying.
if I'm asked a question, I don't expect somebody 2 seconds later to go, "I'm waiting, Jed Panda," or "could be a while." 2 seconds after sometimes it takes a moment to think about it. When you ask me a question, to provide you with an example of some intricacy of American government, maybe it takes longer than 2 seconds to come up with an example. Moron.
No, it doesn't.
We're still waiting.
You could literally pick anything, pick any noun, and they're lying about it.
Well, this is one of the lies. Remember when everybody was a conspiracy theorist?
All right,
that the
bananas.
government used to listen in?
What is it?
That turned out to
lie
be
is
true.
your government telling you about bananas?
Remember when everybody used to say that they used to do MK Ultra and they called every one of those people crazy? That turned out to be true, right? There's a numerous amount of conspiracies that people went and called the whistleblowers crazy.
You're
which
about
turned
an
out-
hour behind
which
the
just
rest of
turned
the
out
group.
casually to be true.
There's probably
I was curious,
a
what
GMO
was it?
type of
sorry,
lie
Brandon.
about bananas.
And let's not forget the whistleblowers that magically happened to suicide themselves with not one, but 2 shots to the back.
Hey, Jim, do you remember, do you agree that the government, I'm speaking probably your government as well, listens in and intercepts the internet and phone traffic of all of its citizens?
Well, I don't think it does it of all of its citizens.
Well, I mean, it doesn't intercept everything, but it doesn't listen to everything, but it intercepts it.
Vast numbers more than it should do, yes.
Yeah. Do you remember just maybe 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, when you suggested something like that, that was considered a conspiracy theory, and now that is a fact. That's common knowledge.
Not really. I can remember hearing that maybe 20 years ago.
Maybe it's been 20,
that
yeah.
was happening. And it was coming from not conspiracy type sources.
Okay. Well, I remember being called a conspiracy theorist.
Like more fringe news.
They've been doing that shit since Project Echelon in the 70s. This
Right.
thing with the Verizon guy isn't even anything new.
Right.
They've been doing that shit.
I can remember the Echelon thing, a long, long time ago. There were always things said about that. But I don't think, I mean, I certainly didn't think at the time it was to the extent that it was.
Pretty amazing, right?
That's
Ridiculous.
because you're a sheep, Jim Panda. You believe everything authority tells you.
Well, did you
you're
think it
programmed
was at
to.
the time? I wonder what you thought at the time. Did you think they were recording, listening in on, I don't know, vast numbers of... Well, I think it started with terrorist suspects, and it ended up where they got something like 2,500 people for every terrorist suspect. Because they followed everyone that they connected with, and then the people that they connected with, and so on and so forth.
You do know that they admitted to every single person, right? Or are you not caught up on the reality of the world? They admit it to literally on every single person.
Yeah, they
Do you not know that?
They intercept it at its source, all the traffic.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah, I've heard
good.
of that.
It isn't that they're
I thought you were talking
particularly
about
listening
phones.
to anyone, right? But if you manage to do something to piss them off, they will go back and research your records and find everything you said, and they will convict you on those things. It isn't that they know when they keep some sort of file because you're some sort of terrorist. No, but if it happens to cause them problems, they'll find anything that was registered to your name. They'll find those audios and they'll try to incriminate you with anything. That's what they do.
Well, and the fact of the matter is, they wrote the Patriot Act in such a way where it's so easy for them to come up with a reason to do that. I mean, they can classify you as a terrorist, pretty much anybody as a terrorist. Seriously.
They're actually trying right now to classify conspiracy theorists as terrorists. Us. We're going to be thrown in jail soon. It's coming. And you'll probably call me a conspiracy theorist for thinking that, and soon I'll be in jail.
Not for saying the Earth's flat.
And I think we're going to be a protected group, like the transvestite, the trans.
It depends what you say.
People.
I think if you're trying to, overthrow the U.S. government, then that might be true. But
oh no, not even that. Literally, just saying things like the Earth. They're framing flat earthers, especially as bombers. Did you know this or not?
Who? What flat earther has been framed as a bomber? Come on.
See, it's American, so maybe you don't know about this, but the most recent bombing where they actually had a warning before the bomb went off that said people get away. Obviously, that's not a real terrorist, but yeah, that one. Did you hear about this or not?
Yeah, I know about that one.
Yeah, they claimed, he's a flat earther. Has nothing to do with flat Earth whatsoever.
Who claimed that?
Framing it that way.
The media.
Yeah,
the media.
What media? Give me an example of the media. Well, I read about that quite a bit. I saw some videos on it as well. But I definitely read, I can't remember what I read, but probably a US newspaper on it. Now, I never saw even a mention of flat Earth. I'd have been all over it if I'd seen that.
Interesting. Oh yeah, because
can you give me an example of it?
And I can actually give you a citation. I can give you the actual link to the thing that shows you this. So let me do that.
I'd like to see it.
Yeah, they've been tying us into a lot of stuff, but that's just what the media does, right? Let me read these super chats. Unicorn Laser Eyes, $2. I know how water flows. I know what level shows. Yeah, we listened to that song a couple of days. Shout out to what's his name? Yeah.
Thanks for playing it.
Yeah, it was good.
Shout out to Buster.
Buster, yeah. Oh, Buster's on, yeah.
Sir Buster. Yes.
Nice job, man.
Yeah, thanks for playing it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah. Free WT, $2. Keep it low level, everyone. It always is. It always is. James Richard, $5. I bring up the topic, then I get muted. Oh, did you get muted, James? Sorry about that. We'll unmute you. The topic goes on. The one who made somebody mad enough to mute me is the same one still talking. What the fuck?
I think he means me.
I think there was just a lot of people talking at the same time, James.
Yeah, a lot of people talking. Night. It was me.
You needed me here to wake you up. You're having a.
Oh yeah, we needed you. Biodual needed you here to save him. That's what happened. Right, Biodual?
He didn't need me. He was doing great.
He did.
I just want Biodual to look into the water level. That's all.
I love the way you guys think that we've just missed water.
Well, I mean, you got a fucked up way of thinking about it. That's for sure.
You kind of have.
About the water. Damn.
I was just unmuted. Would it irritate you guys if I said what I was going to say?
No, please do.
It's a miracle they don't believe in Jesus walking on water because they're sleeping on it.
So Jim Panda, you said if a society doesn't believe its government, what kind of society is that going to bring? I'm kind of paraphrasing, but it was something like that. Am I correct?
Well, I don't think I said that, but I guess I could agree with that sentiment.
It's
more or less.
something like that. You said something,
right?
Yeah. Well, if a society believes everything their government says, what would that bring?
But I'm not arguing for that. I'm not saying that you should believe everything the government say.
And I'm not saying you shouldn't.
You shouldn't. I'm saying you shouldn't dismiss everything they say as a lie just because it's from the government. I don't think that's
you should
good
only
enough.
believe what you can
Because I think they
verify.
tell you a lot of
Wouldn't you
things
agree?
that are the truth.
Wouldn't you agree that you
How do
should
you
only
separate the wheat from
believe
the chaff?
what you can verify? Like if it literally takes a two-dimensional screen and profane and vain babblings to get you to believe something, wouldn't you at least throw a red flag up? Like,
What are you talking about, though, James? I don't know what.
like the only thing about the heliocentric model you've seen is on a monitor, two-dimensional screen.
No, it's not.
So
What are you
you've been to
talking about?
space?
No.
So everything you've seen about it is on a monitor.
Yep.
Oh, you can,
right?
No, I can look in the sky and see.
Be
satellites.
honest, Jim. Just
hello,
be honest.
hello. Listen, I can look in the sky and see satellites.
Oh, you can see them
see 'em
plural,
right.
not just one. Not just one. You can see
several.
Multiple.
Hold on. Give me 1
Several-
second.
Okay,
please.
Several
Can you get
with a
for
telescope.
the flat Earth community, Jim? Can you get one of them on camera?
Yes, ISS.
Yeah, go ahead and do that.
Very, very easy. In fact,
Well,
one of our
Jim,
guys.
let's disregard the
Let me
ISS.
finish. Let me finish.
Let's dis-
one of our,
let's
one of our guys.
disregard that
One of
one.
our, gu-
Because I would agree
Can't
that
disregard
there's
it. You
something
can't
up there,
disregard it.
right?
one of our
But you
guys
said
took
plural. You
one
said
of our guys.
plural.
One of our guys took a photo of it last night, and yes, plural. I'd need a
Well,
camera
that's
to do
fine.
it.
I'll
I
agree
couldn't-
that there's something up there.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it with my naked eye, but yeah, I could
Well,
do
that's
it.
what you said.
Well, look, astronomers
You
see
said
them all.
plural. You said satellites.
Yes,
Yeah, you
yes.
asked for an example. He gave
I
you
can
one,
do
and you just
lots,
disregarded
loads and loads, James. Lots and lots.
Michael.
Plural. Loads. more
but
than
then you
one.
followed it up.
Several. 10,
But
20,
after I
30.
said,
loads and loads and loads, James.
Settle
Yes,
down,
I
Jim.
could do loads. How many times? Fuck.
Why are you being irrational, Jim?
well, after
Because,
I said,
because
let's,
he keeps saying, but you said plural. And I keep saying, yes, I could get more than one. He keeps saying, and then he goes, but you said plural.
Okay, but you specified one. Now specify the second one to make it plural.
yeah, you said ISS. Now let's make it plural. Thank you, whoever just said.
Well, I haven't got any
Can
in
I-
front of
can
me
I get
right
my-
now.
Question in now.
No, don't let him get out of this. Hold on.
Look, I haven't
Because he's
got
the one
any.
screaming and yelling like
Right. Okay. I got you.
he's got a god.
Okay, listen carefully, James, because I'm going to give you the answer now. But you will have to shut up while I do it. Okay?
Go ahead,
I
shoot.
do not have. Oh. I do not have another satellite in front of me right now. I cannot provide you with an example of one that I can see right now. I've seen many examples. They
Well, I don't care
drive.
if you can provide me with one.
That probably
You
interrupt
said
me. Good
plural.
point. Oh my god.
All right. Anyway,
I give in.
so we've got about 15 minutes left. Why don't we do final thoughts tonight? So we haven't done it for a few days, and that'll give everybody, hopefully, Rob, you can
I
say
go
what you have
first,
as
just so I can-
final thoughts.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you think that lights in the sky make the water under your feet curve, you are retarded. Look into a water level. Create straight lines indefinitely. Thank you, Bev.
Thanks. Ruhiv. SE spam garbage.
Earth is
Sorry,
not
me
flat.
next.
Dumbasses.
I'm back, Brandon.
Huh?
Brandon?
Go ahead. Was that it?
Rude. Oh, no, I was going to say, we can't dismiss the ISS as a light in the sky, and you also can't demonstrate that water levels give you a perfect horizontal. They will drop with distance. There you go.
Thank you. SE Montreal.
Yes, sir. Great show today. You guys are done. You're done. Water. Water is your Achilles heel. It's game over. You heard the double, triple speak, double boat paradox. You can't get away from that. You heard them how they were double and triple speaking. So level is horizontal, and that's all there is to it. We live in free space. It's as simple as that.
Thank you, SE. Snake Oil Con Man. Bob Dole. Oh, he's on mute. Voight. Nope. Percentage.
Sorry, was that me?
Oh, who was that?
Rui, but you.
No,
yeah,
no,
I
no.
cut out for a second. Don't worry.
You already went,
Nope.
Ruhu.
Go ahead, percentage.
I reserve my time to the end.
All right. Yeah, fair enough. Ali B. Sleeping. Bowdool. Buster.
All right, real quick. So just to be clear, Cleary and Bev have no idea how the analytes work because they were contradicting each other. And I do appreciate you guys not addressing any content that I provided, just the character attached. Thank you.
Snore. Buster.
Yeah, just good show. Keep an eye out on Bev Try Thinking or Cleary's Channel 3 Space. Should have a new song dropping soon.
No. Jeremy, was that yours?
Fuck C4. Just playing the C4 is alright. He's my biggest fan.
C4's cool. Crit.
Ho.
Final thoughts, sir?
Yeah, that's it. Hurrah.
Oh, okay, cool. Enigma. No? Phase 1. It's a thrilling final thoughts. Farming Ganja.
Great discussion today. Thanks, Brandon. When it comes to believing the government, I use the 179 degree principle. Is basically it's as far away from the truth as you can get.
No doubt. Thanks, man. Fundamental.
Oh, this is one of my first handful of times being here. Just realized that this is some sort of recorded show, right?
Yeah, we're live on YouTube, and yeah, it's a recorded.
Yeah, that's pretty exciting. Well, I gotta say that things got extremely childish to hear, and I had to leave and come back right now to see if it's improved. And but I guess it's the end of the show. I hope it's better than this usually. I've never seen you on YouTube, but I'll definitely subscribe and check it out. Maybe participate more if I'm not offending anyone too much right now. But yeah, Earth's flat, get over it.
No, we're pretty childish. I think you might be disappointed, but you're more than welcome to hang around. Gem Panda.
Join me in the debate, Flat Earth and More Discord server for more conversations like this one, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or live on YouTube on my channel, Humans of Earth. I will say stars have been used to navigate to specific points on the surface of the Earth for centuries. If you think you can just pretend they aren't there with the willful ignorance of lights in the sky, you are retarded. Water and its behavior is well explained on a spherical Earth. Pretending that this has remained unnoticed by all of humanity until now is also retarded. Thank you very much, Brandon. Good show.
Thanks, man. Geo. Gleam. Global virus foe.
Yeah, I just want to say that I tried looking for that the linking the Nashville, Tennessee bomber to the flat earthers, and I can't find it right now, so I have to check the Wayback Machine. But I don't think I'm mistaken. I'm almost positive that's what it was. Maybe it was like anti-vax or something along those lines. But just so we know that, flat earthers are definitely intellectually honest. We're not trying to deceive or anything. I haven't at all found it yet, but I will if I do find that. And if I don't find it, I'll absolutely admit that wasn't what I thought it was. So just so you know, I'll try to find that for you.
Yeah, just to back you up, I remember them tying flat Earth into something like that too.
I definitely
blurring the
did.
lines.
A couple months back.
Just don't remember exactly what it was.
I don't know what it was exactly.
Well, I'm remembering now when I read it, I must admit, I thought
He sounds a bit like a flat earther, but it didn't
Yeah, he was a
say that.
5G dude, right?
It
5G
didn't actually say that. But,
He was destroying the
Maybe it's
5G
coronavirus thing.
infrastructure.
but it did cross my mind.
Maybe it was that. I don't know. I'll have to look for it too.
Might have been a coronavirus thing.
Could be.
Yeah, he destroyed the AT&T building, right, in Tennessee.
Oh.
Oh yeah. I think it had to do with that. The
Yeah.
Trump thing.
He was a 5G fucking vaccination nimrod.
Oh, okay. Bev.
Yeah, thanks. Good show. Keep an eye out on Try Thinking and Three Space. We're going to be doing a thing on elevation, like practical, how it's measured and dealt with geometrically over the next few bits, and also linking that together with the straight line, the right line geometry straight line test that we're doing. Keep an eye out on it. Going to have the ballers pretty triggered already, right, Jem?
I'm triggered already, Bev.
Yeah. Well, your numbers, Ruhif.
Yeah,
Thanks
I
to
asked
them.
the other day, why do you
Final
post them?
thoughts.
They're just the drop numbers.
Final
Okay,
thoughts.
sorry.
That's all right.
Hang on, Bev.
All right. Thanks, Bev. James.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So government has created genocide on the grandest scale man has ever seen. Whereas most people think without government, you get anarchy. That's it.
Thanks, James. Jace. Jimbo. I haven't heard from Jimbo in a while. Kiefer.
Hey, good show. Just wanted to say, Jem, he's a maniac, but kind of like the guy. And Brandon, it seems you forgot our Netflix and chill date.
I did?
Yeah, I DM'd you. Remember, I was the guy that asked you if you knew where Lapeer was? And then Jeremy said that you wanted a Netflix and chill. It
Oh,
was just
shit.
a joke.
I'm sorry, man. Sorry.
You're good, man. You're good.
You can come
You're
over
good, but good
tonight.
show.
I'll give you a call at like 2 a.m. Oh,
It's not a
shit.
joke. He really wants a Netflix and chill.
For sure.
No, man. No.
I'll be
Jeremy,
there, man.
what the fuck you doing? Jimbo, I saw your mic open. Oh, man. Left lane.
I'd like to say thanks, Ruhib, for the numbers.
Not a very good Jimbo impression. We can't hear you.
I tried.
It was all right. Left lane. No, oh, he's not there. Linotomo. Matt Cleary.
A measured vertical change from the horizontal is an elevation change. You can measure elevation. Curvature is just Jim's fantasy because he trusts the government. Thanks, man.
Thanks, dude. Matrix.
I definitely came in late, but I enjoyed the show, and this is pretty much what I hear every time I listen to Jim Pando open his mouth. Yeah, so I just hear bullshit, and he completely believes authority and the government, and that should be your reason why not to listen to anything he ever has to say. Thank you for having me, Brandon.
Thanks, Matrix. Mobius. Rakia. No? All right. Well, all the way back around. My final thoughts. Thanks, guys. Thanks to the panel for being here. Appreciate that. I will come back and push the record button, so the after show will be recorded.
Yo, hold up. There's still my reserve.
Oh, that's right. Reserve time percentage.
All right. So I'd like to yield my time to anyone who wasn't here when he called your name and then you came back after. Pipe up. Read. All right. I yield my time to you, Brandon. Go ahead, finish it.
Thank
Good
you.
show.
Thanks, percentage. Now what the hell was I saying? Oh yeah, thanks to the panel. I'll be back. I'll hit record. Whether or not that recording will ever see the light of day remains to be seen. But I do record, and just for blackmail material purposes for later, mostly. But just so you know. But seriously, thank you guys. Appreciate it. It's a good show. And we'll be back tomorrow.
Brandon, I got some gold in those after shows I'd like to hear one day.
I'll put them out one day. It just takes time to upload them and shit. It's a pain in the ass. I should put them up there, though. It takes like an hour to upload those fuckers. So they process
He recorded
To
this
fund
technology,
fundamental.
but it's just a painful process to upload it.
Exactly.
Do an automatic transcript, Brandon, I think.
You have an automatic
Get a
transcript?
transcript for them or something. Oh, YouTube's is pretty good, but I mean, you can set it up with like Google Docs and shit like that. It's a bit painful, but doable.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll be back, guys. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. Not the most exciting final thoughts today. I'm gonna go back to doing that 3-word thing. That was fun. Maybe we'll try that tomorrow. Anyway, thanks guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for the super chats too. Appreciate that, guys. And have a good night, everyone. Thanks for watching the show. Bye.